out. It's just amazing what vehicles are out here. It looks like we are about to go green.
And for you guys listening at home, we just got the audio fixed, so you didn't hear any of that at the start. And pace car is coming off, so we are about to get underway here. Green flag is about to fly as the cars come around turn 16. Pete Folger was your winner in qualifying, so he's going to take the field to green. And we got that track audio piped in hot right now as they make their way past the start-finish line, 2x2 barreling into the turn number 1. Everybody makes it out clean, and look at this. Shaking it up, single foul already. They were happy to just sit in line. It's first race of the season. You're not going to win it on day one. And I think that's what a lot of these guys have in mind right now. You got to drive it to the finish. And well, Stephen, we are underway. 2024 season. Opening lap here. Radical Downforce division. We've got SR1s and SR3s on track right now. David Mason is your current leader in that beautiful SR3X.
The real test here is going to be the first lap into turn 1. You got to think that's what a half-mile stretch between turn 16 and turn 1. Heavy braking zone. It's going to be really interesting to see how David manufactures that corner, along with Greg being right on his tail.
Well, both drivers have a lot of seat time. They raced all last season. David upgraded. He had the SR3, upgraded to the SR3X, so he's got a little bit more oomph under the hood right now. So expect to see him to hold strong up there. Greg Folger, also a pretty hot contender last year. He was your winner in SR1, so expect to see him to do good things. He's got a little bit more power now in that SR3. And you can hear those cars go flying by as they make their way down the front straightaway.
That's a beautiful sound. It's been a long off season, and finally glad that we're back here to racing at AMP.
Well, one of the upgrades we got, I bought a nice shotgun mic, so we put that thing right next to the start-finish line, so you're going to get good racing noises all day.
Now, speaking of upgrades, you see something I see, Will?
Yeah, I see lights out there at the kart track.
So that means we're having a night race, question mark?
We might be doing some public rental kart racing out there after the sun goes down, so look to that this summer to be online, up and running. We just got approved by the city to put those in, so workers have been very diligent getting those installed. And right now we are watching your leaders as they make their way through turn 6, 7, 8. This is a fun complex on track as they make their way around Spectator Hill, and they hit the dip right here going into turn 11. That car will fully bottom out, and one of the fun things with these Downforce cars is they have the extra stick from having that wing to really get the grip and hug the turn. And from a driver's perspective, it's very physical. And so when you send it into that turn, you've got to commit. And you do that lap after lap after lap. It wears on these drivers.
David still has a decent lead over Greg coming into turn 1.
It looks like they're coming into turn 1 right now. We're watching the field as they go past the start-finish line. You see all the spectators out there on Spectator Hill, or on the balcony, sorry, the AMP Sky Deck. How you tell we're rusty? It's been a long offseason.
Yeah, it has been a very long offseason. This is the first time I've actually been in the booth this year, so I'm a little rusty on a couple things. So eventually I'll pick up the banter and we'll have some fun in here.
Well, it's our first time together up here in the booth. Now, you've been our trackside reporter for a while, and recently getting married, the married man Steve, so time to get him up to the booth.
Yep, I put on my big boy pants this morning and came to the track, and I was like, this is going to be a little different. Going to be in the main booth instead of talking to Victory Lane, doing Victory Lane reporting. It's going to be interesting this season.
And we have got the man himself, Tyler Edwards, joining us here in the booth. Going to add some more commentary.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good, Tyler.
Yeah, good to be here. First race of 2024. It's finally here. It felt like we just ended last year, and here we are again.
I know, time goes by quick.
Man, that volume on that
mic
is wonderful. Great investment, Will.
A great shot here from Daryl Cannon, Killboy.com. hovering that drone in turn 1. As you can see, the car is making the dive down that steep turn 1. You know, one of the fun things about this track is there is not a single turn that is on camber here. You are fighting G-forces every which way when you make a turn here at Atlanta Motorsports Park.
Turn 6 is obviously such a tricky corner as we see the cars coming through, trying to hit that apex. It's just so difficult as they drive into the hill. They gain a lot of front grip. It's easy to spin the car on exit. There's a nice pass on the inside. And are we going to see a crossover? Not this time, but they use that runoff to their advantage. It's just a late apex corner, and you really want to hit your marks every time. It's easy to outbrake yourself. It's easy to overshoot the apex.
Now with the 16-turn road course, what is the most challenging corner for you working with Radical and Primal? Tell us a little bit about that.
I would say probably the most difficult corners here with these cars would be turn 6. Another one is turn 1. It's just really difficult in the SR1s to get everything out of the brakes here. Specifically the SR1 with being a shorter wheelbase, chain-driven. It's a little easier to lock up and just sit too much weight on the nose, and the car likes to dance around under braking. There's a great shot of David Mason kind of setting the pace of the field, but Greg is right there. Both of these are identical cars, the SR3 XXR. Both have 230 horsepower and weigh around 1,300 pounds.
Now, if I remember correctly, those are Hayabusa engines, correct?
They are. So these have, David and Greg both have the 1,500cc option. You can get the 1,340cc as standard, but the 1,500cc is the upgraded option.
Now, for everybody at home, tell us a little bit about Primal.
So Primal, to simplify it, is kind of 3 companies in one. We have the racing school. We are also a fully fledged performance shop. So with that, we work on all types of race cars, not just radicals. And then we also will help even just with general maintenance on general cars, oil changes, you name it. We can do it for clients here at the track. Aside from the school, the performance shop, we are also a radical dealer. So we are essentially the Southeast dealer. So if you see one of these cars and want to look at maybe getting into purchasing one, an SR1, a 3, and SR10, those are kind of the 3 main parts.
You know, me and Steve both drive 4-cylinders that have about 170 horsepower in them. Do you think y'all would be
Interested?
good to do maintenance on those? Won't tell you the make and model, but
Yeah.
definitely don't go as fast as these radicals.
I mean, we could make them that fast. They would take a lot, but we could. We could make it happen.
I'm pretty sure we have a standing bet on who's got the faster Toyota Corolla right now.
Yeah.
It is nice, though, just because we want to offer everything to our clients. They come here, they do the school. If they really enjoy it and they see, okay, I want to do a lot more of this, they can look at getting a car, and then we can offer the maintenance. It looks like Greg Folger just had a little bit of a moment. Big snap of oversteer coming out of turn 6 again. As we talk about it, it's easy to just get a little too happy on the throttle. And it looks like he lost a little bit of time from David. We'll see if he can get it back, but he's fallen back a little bit.
And David's out to a really strong early lead right now.
Seems to be about a 10 to 15 car lead David's got.
You know, David actually, he pulled me aside before the race and said, Tyler, you know, what do I need to know? I've never started on pole. What do I need to do? And obviously I kind of gave him that a little bit of insight just to run your own race, right? It's easy to kind of get a little bit excited and make mistakes, but
got a
so
spin
far
in turn
he's
6.
done really, really good.
Oh,
We got a car around in turn 6. I'm not exactly sure who it was.
We'll see if we can find that on the drone right now. Right now, we are watching them come through that final turn. This is a great shot of the Eau Rouge turn here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Not an angle we get to see a lot of. You can really see that elevation turn as they're coming through the turn. They're actually going up and cresting a hill, and that is a really interesting dynamic for a car as it will make the car want to lift and shift all the way to the outside of the track. And it's really a full commitment zone when you're going through turn 16. And I'm sure you can attest to that, Tyler, because you've done plenty of laps out there. And when you do it in a street car versus doing it in one of these radicals, it is entirely different taking that turn.
There's the spin from earlier. I can't see the car number.
So that was, it looks like Greg. So that was that big snap of oversteer that I talked about where he lost that time to David Mason.
And, yeah, those precious couple of seconds are going to be hard to get back, especially on a track like this. they give David a bunch of clean space up front to turn laps. He's just going to keep doing consistent laps.
Talking with drivers last season, they said there is honestly not a second of rest on this track. I mean, you got 16 turns, full Formula One road course design. It's very, very technical, but it's also a very fun track. Every driver that I've spoken with that has driven the track says it's probably the hardest track they've ever been on, but it's also the most fun track they've ever been on.
It's a very demanding track. It's extremely busy all the way around. You don't get much of a break. It's really testing your vision, and all of your inputs have to be spot on. It's not the widest track, so it is a little more technical with that matter because your car placement has to be just right.
And right now we are watching the multi-class battle between the SR3 of John Pearson being followed by the SR1 of William Layton. William Layton was with us. Is this his third season, if I'm not mistaken?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's done 2 full seasons with us now, start of his 3rd season. So definitely a driver with a lot of seat time under his belt right now out here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. And John Pearson, I think he's been with us even longer than that. Doesn't run with us every single month, but definitely has just as much seat time. And he is in that faster SR3 Radical. So really quite some impressive driving by William Layton, who was just recently a student and, like I said, done 2 seasons with us. Hanging tough with the SR3.
You can't miss him with that orange helmet.
No.
So, I mean, Will's been, again, like you said, he's been a part of our program for a long time. He's been out here driving with us and just continuing to get better and better. And, again, it shows that we have an SR1 versus an SR3, but this track being so technical and not having the straightaways for the SR3 to really pull away. Yes, the SR3 has slicks, bigger brakes, bigger tires, longer wheelbase. The SR1, if you're capable, you can keep up, and you can be faster. We actually have some SR1s that, Evan Lowry in P3, he's holding his own. Blakely Fabiani is right there, too. So really close for the SR1 overall win.
Now, let's talk about Evan a little bit more. He came in about midway through last season. Did he start with a school, and then started racing?
Yeah, so Evan's been, again, he joined us a little over a year ago, and he came through our 3-day program, and then he stepped into our 2-day advanced school. He's done a lot of private testing, and again, he's stepping into the race series. And last year, he finished 2nd overall, even after missing some races. So
yeah, I think he only scored 5 points races out of the 8, and that was enough to get 2nd because how dominant he was in those races.
His goal is to obviously win the championship this year. That's what they're setting their radar on. He does a lot of sim work. He's really been working hard this offseason, so I've been super proud to see his progression. He was out here yesterday testing, and he got his all-time fastest lap. So right now he's just kind of in a rhythm, and look at this. Greg is caught back up to David Mason.
Oh, we might have a race on our hands here. We are 12 and a half minutes into this 20-lap contest right now. And look at that. They are bumper to bumper practically coming through the carousel right now.
We've got about a car and a half length separating the two as they enter turn 6. Looks like we have a local caution entering turn 6. Let's see if we can see what happened.
Might have been a spin, but it looks like there's nothing out of 6. Looks like somebody got going.
It might have been the other side of because that's the 3-5 flag station right there. So maybe it could be somebody we don't see up at the bottom of the carousel.
More than likely, might have been a spin, and we'll just have to see. But basically what Greg's got to do here is he's got to see where is he stronger. David's a little wide there at 12. I think what's happening is David is looking in his mirrors maybe just that little bit too much. He sees Greg inching forward, and it can be common to get in your head.
They've got some lap traffic they're going to have to get around. Fortunately, staying to the outside line. Let's see if he brings that car in or not.
Yeah, that's Pete Folger right there. Ooh. So we'll see if something maybe hopefully is not wrong with his car, but he's coming into pits.
And that was his son, Greg Folger, passing him right now, trying to make the move on David Mason.
David's
not
going
able to do it. Ooh, and it looked like he might have snap steered a little bit there because David was able to get the pull on him out of the turn.
That gap has increased ever so slightly. I agree with you, Will. It looks like he might have overcorrected coming through the corner.
It looked like he started real wide and caught that curb, not expecting it.
So David is running. I'm happy with what I'm seeing with what he's doing because he understands where are the common passing zones at this track, and he is defending where he needs to defend. And it's making Greg's life really difficult. Greg needs to figure out, okay, where am I faster and where is he faster? Because I have to use a sequence of corners, plan my attack, and make a move. And I know that's what Greg's trying to figure out right now, and we'll see if he can make anything happen.
Now, we were talking about the technicality of the track. Where, in your personal opinion, would be the best passing point for the battle going on for 1 and 2?
So right here on the drone shot, we actually see turn 11 at the bottom of the hill going all the way up the hill towards 12. That is a good passing zone. If you are faster through 10 and 11, you can get a surge going up the hill. But turn 1 and turn 6 are your most common. So as we're coming through 15 and into 16 right here, this is ideal if you can draft up behind somebody. Greg is too far back this lap, but passing into 1 or turn 6 are your most common.
And some great drone shots from our drone pilot, Jeffrey Farver, Illumicube Engineering. I know we give Daryl Cannon most of the shout-outs, but make sure we give some love to Jeff. He's flying the blimp cam up there. Glorfindel, as we call it behind the scenes. And right now we are watching the battle for the lead. Another thing, we haven't given a lot of light to it right now. Blake Fabiani, look at this, running 4th place right now. He is our 4th overall. He is 2nd right now in the SR1 class, and this is his first race ever in a Downforce car.
Last season, we saw the heartbreak that happened with Fabiani in the very first race of the season with his spec Miata. Dropped an engine or a transmission, very first race. I physically sat there and watched him rebuild the whole thing. Comes out and wins the second race in dominant fashion. I mean, I'm talking 30, 40 seconds ahead of second place.
And Fabiani had a very enduring season last year. He was constantly getting mixed up with other drivers. Sometimes his fault, sometimes not his fault. We'll let the viewers be the decider on that. But he persevered through a lot, and he actually ended up bringing home the victory in the Spec Miata class last season. He was your first place overall winner in the series. So excited to see him making the jump up to SR1 today. And, right now he's currently sitting P2 in his first ever race. So, we've seen crazier things happen, but he's only got 3.5 minutes left to hang on, and he will bag himself a podium in his first ever radical Downforce race.
Love that shot coming up to turn 2 and 3. But
you jinxed it.
I know. I did. One thing, though, that we haven't mentioned, we have a little bit of a celebrity in this race right now.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even given Rob Dam some coverage.
Dom.
Rob Dom, sorry.
Yeah. So, we've had Rob Dom, car YouTuber. He's coming out here, and basically he is on a journey to Pikes Peak in June. So he is out here to learn some more driving technique. I've been working with him this week for a couple days. I've been extremely impressed with how quickly he's kind of gotten on board with everything in the racing world because, he's more building. He does car builds, and he's more in the engineering, and he understands he needs a little bit of help on the driving side, and I've been really happy to work with him. And he's just kind of in his own zone right now, just getting this one race under his belt, and then hopefully race 2 he's going to be pushing a little bit forward.
Well, we'll look to see him climb up that leaderboard in race number 2. Currently running P11, so just off that top 10 that you see on your leaderboard. And right now, as your leaders are making their way past the start-finish line, white flag has not come out yet. I expect to see it maybe next time by. We'll see. But we are got just over 2 minutes to go in this 20-minute contest. Drivers are on lap 14.
That was a great shot as David and Greg are coming at you into turn 1. You can see how David's kind of just crowding the middle a little bit, just going a little defensive, and it's
forcing Greg to get a little squirrely because you see him working that line. You see that back end of that car as he's coming up through the carousel, getting a little squirrely on him.
In our racing school, I talk about attacking and defending. There's an art to passing, but right now, David is the Minister of Defense right now at Atlanta Motorsports Park. He is doing a great job. He is placing his car where he needs to be. He's getting good runs out of corners where he needs to be. A key one, if we watch this, they're going into turn 12. And as you come out of 13, it is imperative for him to get a really good exit here. This is your top speed because they are full throttle from that point all the way to turn 1.
And this is where they will get to the fastest part of the track as they're coming around this back straightaway. They're taking this turn at about 90 to 100 miles an hour. They are in triple digits as they make this final turn. That's what makes the Eau Rouge complex so powerful, or so difficult to get through and dangerous if you don't stick the line just right, because they're getting up.
Oh, and here we got a spinning one.
Oh, sent it just a little too hard. Greg Folger hot on the binders. The car comes around. Oh, and that's going to be a tough one. That is going to put more than enough gap between him and David Mason. That David pretty much just has to keep it between the lines, and he's going to drive this one home. because the white flag is out. So we should see the checkered next time by. And look at that. Oh, you hate to see it.
You can't say he didn't try.
No, he was definitely getting him ready.
I mean, I honestly see the setup of possibly an over-under pass right here just by the way he was coming in. He, I guess, got pinched off and just locked it up, and that's what we got there.
Well, again, David was placing his car just the right angle, and he overslowed the apex to where the over-under wouldn't have even been possible. Really good job by David. There's nothing wrong with that move. It's just Greg trying to figure out something to do and get around him, and he just ended up looping it. It's easy to do in turn one because you can't really tell from this angle of the camera, but turn one falls away significantly. It goes downhill pretty drastically.
And this is going to be even more depressing. Greg Folger ran his best lap of the race that last lap.
Oh, man.
119.8. He was almost a full second faster
And we've got
than
checkers.
David Mason. And the double checkers are out right now, as David Mason will take home the victory for race number 1. He is your winner for SR3 Radical. Greg Folger in second place. And just behind him, let's see, Evan Lowry should be coming across the line to secure the win for SR1. And we'll see if we can get a shot of them, the rest of the field. As the announcer passively aggressively says to the producer. And there goes Blakely Fabiani past the line. So Evan Lowry will be your winner in SR1 Radical. Blakely Fabiani, look at that. P2, first ever race. And look at that, just behind him, Jarvis Lee, his first ever race here in a Radical SR1. He's going to take P3 for SR1. And how about that? We got 3 Radical SR1s beating out 2 of the Radical SR3s. John Pearson coming in to secure P3. And William Layton just off the podium in P4 for SR1. Jose Alvarez just crossed the stripe. He will be P5. Hank Pate, P6. Aaron Smith, P7. And we're going to go ahead and get Chris Conowall, see if we can get out there and hunt down a couple of these guys. We'll see if we can get David Mason and Evan Lowry on the mic here. Wow.
And that was a pretty entertaining race, wasn't it, Will?
Yeah, how about that for your first Downforce race, Steve?
You know, I get a spin. Let's see. We get actually 2 spins if you really look at it. You know, it's a little different being in the booth instead of, you know, just talking to drivers like I usually do. Sometimes I don't necessarily know what to say. So if I go silent, I apologize to the viewers at home because, you know, it's a learning curve for me.
It's all good. We've got our interview cam and Chris Conowall making his way out there. You can kind of see them on the middle of your screen right there, walking in front of the Aero Garage. And that looks like Greg Folger pulling in. So David Mason and Greg Folger right there. We'll see if we can get a word with both of them. I'd love to hear what happened there with Greg Folger as he was diving into turn 1.
Like I said, it looked like he was trying to set up an over-under there and just got closed off.
And great shot as cameraman Ethan Denny. Normally we stick him out at Cowboy Cam. We've said, well, you know, you've been on the broadcast long enough. Let's bring you inside and
yeah.
get you a better role over here, because that's the reason we call it Cowboy Cam, because Ethan, for the first 3 seasons, he just go out, wouldn't complain, get probably the crappiest job out there on track. Sun beating on him all the time.
I mean, he's got the look right now as a Cowboy. I don't know if we can get a –
that is why we named the cam after him. But we'll see if we got drivers ready. I see David Mason out of his car. So he is about to have a word with Chris Conowall. So we're going to go ahead and pass it on down to Chris. Chris, take it away.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everybody, for being here today. I'm here with race winner David Mason. I understand it was your first time on the pole. Yes, sir. It is the first race of the season, so tell us a little bit about the experience, if you wouldn't mind.
Tons of fun. The view's better up front, I can tell you that. First pole, first win, tons of fun. Happy Easter, everybody. He is risen.
He is risen, and so Tyler was mentioning that it might have been your first win, and that is the case. Is that right?
That's right. Yes, first win ever.
That's excellent. Okay, so Greg Folger knocking on your back door there toward the latter part of the race. Did you happen to catch him in your rear view, especially that turn one event there right at the end?
Well, I looked back. I saw the spin. I didn't know where he was really as I came in because you're going so fast. All you can do is look forward with a little peek to the rear. But I saw him spin, but I didn't know what happened. He was pushing hard. He had a good day. I mean, he was fast. He was really fast, pushing me hard.
Yeah, and I understand from Will inside that last run was his fastest of the day, as he looked like he was going to try to make a move there in turn one. But so this is being the first race of the season. We're getting to know you a little bit. Tell us where you hail from and a little bit about yourself. How long you've been racing?
Been racing. Started here with the class about 2 years ago. This is my second full season from Lebanon, Tennessee, near Nashville. So joined the membership, bought a car, and having a ball, loving it.
Well, we're really glad to have you out here. Congratulations on your very first win. We'll see you on the pole. Happy Easter.
Thank you. Man. Happy Easter to you, too.
Thank you. All right, going to send it back inside to you, Will. Steve?
Thank you, Chris. We actually have a little bit of a pause right now because we've got one of our racers is pulling double duty today, so we told him we would put about 10 minutes between these racers. So, Chris, maybe see if you can go grab somebody else. I don't know if Greg's down there. I see Blakely walking to his car right now. Oh, he's not? Oh. He might be spent, so I don't think he's going to hit the grid there for Miata. But I see some other guys hopping over the fence right now.
You got Jarvis Lee down there.
So if you can hear me trackside, I need all Spec Miata drivers. Go ahead, get in your cars, start getting to the grid. And that looks like we got Greg down there. Chris, yeah, let's ask him what it's like going from the SR1 to the SR3 this season.
For sure, yeah. Here with Greg Folger. Greg, did you hear Will's question, what it's like going from SR1 to SR3?
Yeah, there's a difference going to the slick tires, bigger motor, but still a ton of fun figuring things out, and had a great race with David there at the end. Just pushed it a little too hard into turn one that last time.
For sure. And that was actually, according to the guys inside, was your fastest lap. And so there was an earlier on issue as well, but you were able to bring it back in lap 10. Yep. And so tell us a little bit, again, more about the race from your perspective.
Yeah, first time in the new car out here, so just figuring things out, and was trying to kind of show myself in David's mirror the whole time. I lost my mirror, so I knew I couldn't make a move too soon because that would be a little dangerous, so I finally sent it on that last lap and just a little too hot going into turn one.
Okay. All right. Well, as I mentioned to David, we're getting to know folks out here today, and so tell us where you hail from and how long you've been racing all together.
From Hiawassee, and this will be kind of my second full season, but third season I've started racing out here.
Excellent. Beautiful Hiawassee. Well, happy Easter to you. Congratulations racing the SR3 1500cc, and we'll see much more of you. We'll see you on the podium. Any shout-outs?
Just want to thank my dad, my family for being here, and happy Easter to all as well.
All right, guys. Greg Folger.
It's a beautiful shot we got of the facility here at AMP. Looks like
always making improvements, and you could definitely see the footprint from Federico Cerifo there in the South Paddock. You guys might know him from Formula Drift. He does a drift ride-along experience, and we had a big EMC. You know, all the utility companies had a big meeting up here earlier this week and got to do some drift ride-alongs with him in the paddock. So some fresh rubber down there in the South Paddock. So if it feels extra grippy when you're pulling your when you're pulling your trailer out today, that's why. But great shot of all these radicals lined up in front of the building. We are currently waiting on Spec Miata to hit the grid. I need all Spec Miata drivers, if you can hear me, Spec Miata, go ahead, get in your cars, get on grid. We're going to be getting this one underway soon. And while we wait, me and Steve will take a quick break, and we will be back with you momentarily for the exciting race number one for Spec Miata this season. We got 13 drivers registered today, so this should be an exciting grid. They were out there. I could tell you that noise, sounds like an angry pack of hornets when they hit the track for practice today. We haven't had a grid this big in quite a little bit with Spec Miata, so definitely going to be fun to watch today. Definitely got some of the main players coming back. Keith Williamson, Jose Garcia here today.
Fabiani is also out there.
Fabiani, hopefully we'll hop in there. He was giving me the I'm not doing it as he was walking by. Oh, it looks like we got Chris down here with it looks like Rob Dam. So, Chris, take it away.
Yeah, I'm actually going to turn the mic over to Tyler here. Tyler, I saw you conversing here with Rob a little bit. Tell Tell the viewers about our celebrity out here today.
Well, this is actually really funny because this is Jose.
Oh, my bad.
This is not Rob. I'm actually trying to see where Rob is at. But we can interview Jose. How about that?
That works perfectly.
So Jose has actually gone through our racing schools. He's progressed through, and this is his first race with us. But talking to him about that, you just want to give feedback. How was your race? Where did you feel like you improved the most?
Race went well. I think I improved the most coming out of 13, attacking 6, and turn 1. I was able to keep my position and finish the race the same position I started. Unfortunately, I couldn't move a little bit further forward. I made a mistake, but hey, that's part of racing. Learning from the process, and just going for the next race and try to do best.
That's it. Just reset, get ready for the next one, and we start fresh for the next race. But looks like Rob's right over here. Rob, you want to come over here real quick? Come on in. So this is Rob Dahm. Rob, how was your first experience racing?
That was incredible. It was so neat to see everybody else way faster than me. And looking at the lap times, I was at 131 the whole time, and I've never ran a 131 before. I was in the 125, low 125. So I don't know. The car was way slower, but I also stuffed one into the wall earlier this week in training. So this is what I get for pushing the limits a little bit too much. But nonetheless, what a drug. What an incredible experience. And I'm not an extremely competitive person, so I'm just out there having fun. And so really, even though I was in absolute last place, it was perfect time for me to practice. So seat time, getting to be out here with you guys, what better?
Well, obviously, we're thankful to have you here, excited to help you on your journey to Pikes Peak. It's exciting to just kind of see your progression, and we'll get you ready for race 2.
Okay, sounds good.
And before you guys step away, just apologies for getting you guys mixed up. Just for our viewers, Jose, tell us where you're from, Jose, and Rob, you as well, just so our viewers know a little bit more about you before we head into race 2.
Well, I come from Florida. I've been practicing kartism for about 15, 17 years. I've always loved the motorsport, and I always wanted to get myself into it. Tyler gave me the opportunity to prove that I got a little bit of what it takes, and here I am. I mean, racing competitive, racing with a lot of great drivers here that are probably looking for the same that I am, and hey, ready for the next race.
Excellent. All right, Rob, I'm Chris. It's nice to meet you officially, and tell our viewers where you're from and how long you've been racing all together.
Okay, I'm from, at this point, Los Angeles, but originally from Detroit, so I'm a Detroit boy, and I've been racing a total of 18 minutes. That's my very first wheel-to-wheel race, and so it was intimidating, but I caught the bug.
Excellent. Well, thanks, gentlemen. We appreciate you. We're looking forward to seeing you in race number 2. Tyler, thank you for the interview as well. We're going to send it back into Will and the guys, and to our viewers out there in the audience. So we just want to thank everybody for tuning in today here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. What a beautiful day before Easter, and delighted to have all of you.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I spent that interview subscribing to Rob Dahm, so I won't make that confusion again. Yeah, you can tell we're very versed with his channel up here in the booth. But always exciting to see guys coming out here and racing with us. It's honestly been excited to see the program grow, to see the Radicals and the Downforce, and really what the guys over at Primal Racing have done. They really became the stars of the show last year, with grids of 19, 20 cars coming out there. We were a little light today because we're missing the Praga R1 guys. A couple of the dudes were down with some mechanical issues. And so we'll hope to get them back out next month. I know they were I think there was another show or another race going on somewhere, so they weren't able to make it out here this month. But
I think today there's an event going on at Barber, but I could be
yeah,
could
that's
be wrong
what
at
it is.
that.
Yeah, because I talked to Shane Anderson. I was like, hey, you guys coming out? And he said, nope, we're going to be missing you this week. So hopefully get to see them out here next month. Always fun to see those Pragas cutting it up with everybody. But, still a good show without them today. 8 SR1s, 4 SR3s. Always fun to hear those 4-cylinder Suzuki engines at full revs coming down the front straightaway. And speaking of even higher-pitched 4-cylinder engines, we got these Miatas ready to hit the grid. I am really excited for this one, Steve.
We've talked about this, I couldn't tell you how many times, but we, as in me and you, need to go out, just put our cars on track. Let's finally solve this debate.
I'm totally down doing a two-car, one-lap
shootout,
Corolla shootout. Maybe we get the remote cameras. We could live stream
Yeah.
while we're in there.
Yep.
Because we were joking about this. I think the last time me and you were in the booth together was over at Lanier.
It was.
And we were doing I believe that was a drift event we were doing out there. And we were joking about getting our Corollas out there on track. And I've actually taken my Corolla on track. So, you might knock it at home, but, they're actually putting 170 horsepower in those little four-banger Corollas. And
I mean, not to toot my own horn or anything, but the fastest I've got mine was 147.
yeah, I still don't know what my top speed is.
But that was praying and a long straightaway and
That was
hoping.
obviously at a standing mile contest and not on public
yes, it
roads.
was. It was one of those do not try this at home kind of moments.
But no, those are definitely fun cars. We joke around, we kid. But Steve has been here for a while. Heck, you've been here longer than I have, pretty much.
Yep.
When I started working here 6 years ago, Steve was one of the mechanics back there at the kart track. I don't know if you were up to mechanic at that point.
I was still corner marshal at that time, and then I moved my way from corner marshal to operations and then to mechanic, and it was,
And now you've made the jump up here to the big track.
Yeah, you were back at kart track for a long time.
Always when you go back there to kart track, don't remember where you came from.
The group chats with memes and everything else that we have from back in the day. Oh, man.
But they are getting the grid ready to go right now for Spec Miata. They got the Super Chicken out there, Keith Williamson. Looks like Raiden Nickel up there as well. I didn't catch the qualifying order, so we're going to have to see when they change the scoring tower over to see where they're at. But I definitely see Raiden, Keith, and Jose right there, 1, 2, 3. So the three of them at the front of the grid. It is going to be some exciting racing.
Now, did Jose change his number from 00?
Might be a new car because he was not with us for a good bit of last season.
That's right. He ran, 2 races last year?
Yeah.
1 or 2 races, I can't remember.
And Jose races a lot with us back at the kart track. So, I don't blame him for putting more focus back there, but we always love to have him up here when he comes and joins us. Jose is a great guy, great competitor, puts his heart into it, leaves it all out on track. And, some of our best battles have been between Jose and Keith. And, honestly, I'm excited to see Raiden Nickel back here.
Oh, yes.
2 seasons ago, that was all we said was Raiden Nickel every single race.
I think
Absolutely
every article that I've put out for the past year and a half has his name somewhere in it.
Well, it was about 2 seasons worth. The first season, since we've started broadcasting here, the first season, Raiden Nickel was absolutely dominating back at the kart track. Second season, he came up here, raced Spec Miata, absolutely dominated in Spec Miata.
Then went to the Radicals.
Then moved up to Downforce, absolutely dominated in Downforce. I mean, there is nothing this kid can't drive, and he's barely 16 years old. When we first started covering him, he was 13. And
God, when I first met him, he was like 8, 7.
And his parents specifically moved to Georgia to be next to Atlanta Motorsports Park because this is one of the best facilities you can train out. And he's one of the young guns we got right now that I think legitimately has a shot at taking it to the next level. There is nothing that kid cannot drive.
Speaking of taking it to the next level, we've already got one driver that's running at the next level. I always mess up his name, so I don't want to mess it up. He's running the British GT Cup.
You would ask me this.
Is it Ericsson?
Yeah, I know Evan Ericsson's out there, and it's going to come to me about halfway through the race.
It probably will. Same with me.
No,
I'll have to sit here and scroll on my phone and look and see who it is.
No, but what Steve's referring to is the drivers with VRD, Velocity Racing Development. They are one of our on-site racing development programs, and their goal is to get the next American F1 champion. And
it's going to happen.
It will. And some of the drivers they have coming up the Pipeworks right now, we're real excited to see what's going to happen. And when it does happen, it will be a VRD driver.
Yes.
Those guys are insanely talented. We get to see them out here all the time practicing with their F4 USF 2000 cars. And their drivers are always dominant on grid. And if you would like to learn more about that, you can actually go watch our 4-part YouTube series that we just released over the offseason featuring several of the VRD drivers. So great to get caught up on what they're doing. Their season just got underway, so they're out and about traveling. I think they were just down in St. Pete's. And I haven't seen Dan much in the paddock, so I haven't gotten to talk to him and ask him where they're going
believe he
next.
was, when I pulled in today, it looked like they were in the garage working on another car.
And we have got our spec Miata grid finally getting released. These guys should only be doing one pace lap and then going green. Got that beautiful EV DeLorean out there. The guys at Ampere EV gracious enough to let us borrow that for the day to be the pace car. You might have seen it before in the past. You might have
Or
seen
the
it
future.
Yeah, or the future, yeah. You might have seen it at SEMA. It's been all over the place. Mostly lives here in Dawsonville, whether it's at the track or over at the shop in downtown Dawsonville. But if you guys are in the market for an EV conversion, definitely check out the guys over at Ampere EV. They sell custom conversions. And one of the beautiful things about their setup is they've got the software, the control box, the computer. It is literally a drop-in system. And with a lot of EV conversions, you have to use older cars that don't have as much of the electronics, things that need to be controlled by the computer. And with Ampere EV, their system allows you to basically drop in newer cars. And you also do older cars too if you want, but it is a complete system. It's the computer. It's all of it.
You think he's doing 85 right now?
84.
84. He's not quite hit 85.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to hit 88, or he'll go back to race one Downforce.
Or back when the facility was entirely dirt.
Yeah, that was for one day on April Fool's a couple years ago. Speaking of which, we might have some big news coming out on Monday.
You boys ready to go dirt racing?
Well, one of us in the booth does control the April 1st posts on the website.
That is true. That is true. Well, it looks like we are about to go green. Cars are girded up nicely coming to the start line. Raid Nickel leading the point.
As they make their way past the line. And here they go. Can hear them out. There we are. Engines revving. We are underway.
That's a beautiful drone shot.
And they are waving that green flag down by the start finish, or down by turn one, as Raid Nickel will lead the pack. Look at that. 3 wide, little off-roading there. That looked like Tyler Klein just behind. As either Klein or Cottrell. We'll have to see at the line. But right now, Raid Nickel is your race leader. Jose Garcia right on his tail. Keith Williamson's got a little bit of a gap behind Garcia, but I don't expect that gap to widen too much. And then we're going to have to see who the rest of them are as they make their way past our position in the building.
I think turn 6 on this first lap might be a little tricky for some of these drivers. Let's see. And we've got – oh, nope. Made it clean through there. Raiden's continuing his lead on into turn 9 at the moment, or 8 and 9. You know, Will, it's amazing to see how far this facility's come in just the past couple years.
Well, they are constantly adding and improving here. The Sky Deck was the big improvement last year, and also redoing the members lounge, although don't really get to see too much of that from the camera, but you do see that Sky Deck in almost every shot when they're coming past the start-finish line. Really fun to stand out there, especially when the cars are on track. I mean, you can practically sweat on those cars. You stick your head over the rail. They are that close to you, and it is – unless you've stood on the fence at a NASCAR race, it is hard to get that feeling, that sense of speed. And here come our drivers through turn 16. Those beautiful race car noises.
Wow, wow, wow. God, I love it.
And now we got some scoring data back. So that was Skylar Cottrell that did the little bit of off-roading there. He is in that orange car, currently sitting in 4th place. Bill Miller just behind him. Bill, always fun to see him out here. He's been racing with us, I think, since the beginning. He is one of the best, classiest drivers out there. He is a gentleman driver if there ever was one. Glad to see him up in 5th. Tal Savani back as well. He's a guy that's been out here quite a bit. So happy to see all these guys signing back up. And, looks like Jose falling off a little bit. So maybe that was Tyler Klein up there, because you were talking about Jose changing his car.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was a different looking car. I didn't think it was the same one.
They both look silver from up here.
I have no clue.
But no, that is definitely Tyler Klein in 2nd place right now behind Raiden Nickel. Raiden Nickel, look at that, just building on his lead. If they're not careful, he's going to be all the way. He'll be a half lap ahead of him by the end of this.
Da 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 da. Raiden Nickel. We got to give him a Max Verstappen theme song.
No, this week it is the Beyonce album. It's the new Jolene. You know. No, we're done with Max Verstappen for this season. We're on Cowboy Carter. And here goes the field barreling into turn one. Really great shot here. You can see how much of a dip there is coming into turn one. That really punishes those outside front tires. You're putting all the weight of that car on those front tires as you were pushing that thing through turn one.
You know, I've always really wondered what a tire fall-off was on this track. Hopefully it's nothing like it was last weekend at Bristol.
It shouldn't be that bad. I was talking to Keith before the race about tires, actually, and you know, we run an open tire rule here because we try our best to get guys from both NASA and SCCA. So whether you got Hoosiers, whether you got Toyos, you are more than welcome to come race with us. But the Hoosiers do grip a slight bit better. So, you know, last race of the season, points are on the line and you got a chance to win. You might go make the investment in the Hoosiers, but most of these guys will run the Toyos because you can get more races on them, more heat cycles. And the fall off is not that much different. So most of these guys are in Toyos, but you know, the super competitive guys that want to buy a new set every week, they can definitely slap some Toyo or some Hoosiers on there.
Man, that's got to get pricey. I know from running in the late model side of things, which is my forte. Road course racing is very fun though.
Yes, it is, but it is also very taxing. And right now you're looking at Ray Nickel coming past our speed cam through turn 16. Tyler Klein just behind him. Keith Williamson behind Tyler. And right now, looks like the closest battle on track right now is going to be that battle for fourth place between Skylar Cottrell and Jose Garcia.
Well, Jose has been an Iron Man for the past, well, the entire time he's been here.
So is that Jose? Maybe I'm blind. That's Jose in the
00
in the orange car.
I think so. 1, 2, 3. I believe you're right. No, he would be in sixth.
Yeah, so something must be up with the scoring tower because I see his silver 00 back there, a few more positions. Unless that is our open driver, because we do have one guy out here that is not legal. They might not even threw him in on the scoring. So definitely somebody we're not picking up right now, because I believe that is. Well, we'll just have to see when they come past the line. That's turned into a kart race. You know, those numbers are so tiny, hard to see.
Speaking of kart races, last kart race, 160 competitors.
160 last time. That was 2 weeks ago. And we got another kart race coming up next week. And we're going to break that record again because we've got the guys coming in for the national race the week after. So they're going to be in practicing for that on the 6th. So I'm expecting 200-plus drivers next week at kart track. It's going to be
I hate to say this, but unfortunately, I will not be here for that race.
You and Chris both. Were y'all going out of town together?
Yeah, we're going to go camping. I'm going to Florida for a family reunion. But, you know.
Sounds fun. It might be the Will and Mikey show next week up in the booth.
You know, that's going to be entertaining. I'm going to have to convince my wife to, you know, figure out a way to play it while I'm driving down to Florida.
So, yeah, that's definitely Skylar Cottrell is one of those cars. He's in the number 9. I would assume that's the blue car, so I'm assuming that one just behind him is probably our not-so-legal car. And then behind them, that looks like Bill Miller and Jose Garcia right there going by. And just behind Jose is Bill Kring. And it looks like that orange car is falling off a little bit. That might be Tal Safani.
I think you're correct. I can't read the number very well. It looks
That's
like a 99.
Yeah, that might be our mystery driver that yeah, that's Mike Cottrell. He's I'm assuming he's having some transponder issues because that is not picking up.
Yeah, there goes Jose right there.
And so that is Jose Garcia hot on the bumper of Bill Miller right now. And they are making their way through the dip. Oh, a little passing action.
I don't know if he missed a shift there.
Yeah,
or
that's
what
Jose.
happened.
That's Jose. So that's Bill Kring getting around Jose. He must have missed a shift coming through there.
That'd be the only way he fell off like that.
And it doesn't look like he's missing any power, so that could have just been a simple driver's error coming through there.
Wonder if he just missed the shift or
A little
or
too
what
wide
happened
action there coming down the front straightaway.
About to be 3 wide.
I was going to say, something's got to give as they go into turn 1.
And last season when we had that epic,
what
was it,
Shane
8-car pileup in turn 1?
That one wasn't too bad. We had the big, we had the slide job with Shane Anderson.
Oh, through the sand,
grazing, practically grazing half the field going off in turn 1. Surprised he didn't hit anything.
No, because he barely cut through, 4 different drivers?
Yeah.
I don't know if he just locked it up or what happened with that incident, but he, as the kids say, sent it.
He licked that stamp and sent it.
Makes me sound old when I say that. I'm still in my 20s.
And right now we are watching the battle between Jose Garcia and Bill Kring. Jose looked like he missed a shift, gave the spot up to Bill Kring last lap, although he
definitely catching him now.
He is hard charging right now, trying to gain that position back. They are currently fighting for 6th and 7th position. Let's see. Jose might have a little bit of a run here as they're coming through the back side of the track.
Is he going to rattle his cage wheel?
Let's find out. He might get the run coming through Eau Rouge. Let's see. These cars are very important about hitting your mark, hitting your shifts, because it's all about momentum. And you miss one shift, and it's going to penalize you for the entire lap.
He's going to set him up maybe for a slide job coming
into 1. He looks to the inside. He's got the run. He goes down low. Let's see if he can hang on to it. A little bit of crossover action, and no. Shuts the door. Jose Garcia successfully gets around Bill Kring. And, Steve, we are now at the halfway point. So right as that was going on, the driver's getting the sticks at the line. So we are 10 minutes down, 10 minutes to go in this 20-minute contest. We've got 7 laps in the book, and look at that. Bill Kring, Jose Garcia, and Steven Tyner all running their fastest laps of the race that previous lap. So they're definitely heating it up right now, trying to defend, trying to block.
And Jose's just pulling away from Steve.
He is, and he is definitely getting the run now on Bill Miller. Bill had a little bit of a cushion, but now that buffer zone is gone as Jose Garcia is making the charge as he is catching up to Bill Miller right now.
Speaking of gone, Raiden Nickel has checked out, is way ahead of everybody.
Yeah, he's already having lunch at Waffle House right now. He has finished the race. We'll have to check on him in a second. He just hit the stripe. Look at that. He got an entire straightaway between him and second place.
He'll take an all-star. Smothered, scattered.
And, I mean, just look at those times, 134.903. I believe that is actually a track record. And that's not even his fastest lap.
No.
Or no, that is his fast lap of the race. That wasn't his fast lap the last time by. But look at that. He is consistently banging off 134s. So he did a 134.903 the last time. His fastest of the race is a 134.656 or 653.
So
and that is actually
second.
That is good enough for a track record right now. So absolutely incredible performance by Raiden Nickel right now. He's breaking the track record I think 3 times now already this race.
You want to go for 4?
He's got the time to do it. Yes. I don't know if there's any left on track, but if anybody can find it, it's going to be Raiden Nickel.
And he broke a bunch of records back at Car Track too before he started coming up here.
Yeah, the records, about half the names were Raiden Nickel, the 4-stroke, 2-stroke records.
LO206, K100, tag. Anything you name it, that kid has broken the record somehow.
And he is driving the wheels off that Miata, though. Look at that. Jose Garcia looked like he's having some trouble there at turn 11. He was right on the bumper there of Bill Miller, and then that gap went from 2 cars to about 5-6 cars. And that is the exact same place on track where he had trouble just about 3 laps ago when he gave the position up to Bill Kring.
Not exactly sure if he's missing a shift right there or if he's just the positioning of the car and he's just not getting a good entry or a good exit in the corner. It's hard to tell. Maybe we can catch up with him,
Yeah, maybe
after.
we get Chris to go out there and find out what's going on during the post-race interviews. But right now we are watching the battle in your mid-pack. That's Bill Miller, Jose Garcia, and Bill Kring right now. This is the closest action on
Oh,
track.
we got way off.
Oh, look at that.
Saved it.
Look at that. Bill Kring went on safari there in turn 1. Now let's see if we got that on replay. He had it.
And just broke loose.
Front snapped back on him, and he ran out of real estate. But good driving to not lose any more time than he did. Looks like he maybe lost about a second during that incident, but he is back underway.
Hey, Bill, I think the drift event's on the 4th of July, buddy. I think you're a little early.
And speaking of 4th of July, that's always a fun event when we get to do the 4th of July drifting. They'll run all the way from turn 2 to turn 6. And then they'll shut down, fire it back up, and do turns 11 through turn 14.
That's if you've not been here for the 4th of July at AMP, that is something you need to come out and see. It's amazing. Looks like we're going side by side here.
And
I believe that might be our leader.
Thought about it for a second. Unless that some lapping traffic coming up right now. We are still watching the battle for 5th place between Bill Miller and Jose Garcia. Bill putting on a master class right now on how to keep Jose at bay.
Block, and block again.
As our friend Al Edwards would say back at Kart Track, that is some arms out or elbows out racing.
Oh, here we go. Jose's going to set him up for a pass at 1.
He's going to try it. He's going to dive down to the inside of turn 1. He gets by, but is there going to be a crossover?
Nope.
No, and he gets through clean. And look at that. He's got the run on him as well. And he is going to start to pull away from Bill Miller. You know, Jose is a surgeon when it comes to passing. He knows exactly how to set you up and exactly how to get by.
He also likes to pass in places you wouldn't think would be a passing zone. Like
he can make it a passing zone.
If you think it could be done, he's going to do it.
And right now that he's gotten around Bill Miller, he will have some clean racetrack ahead of him, although might be a little too late because as these minutes are winding down, we've only got about 4 minutes to go in this race, and there is a huge gap between him and the 4th place of Skylar Cottrell. Right now that gap is about 13 seconds from 5th to 4th. So I'm not sure if Jose is going to be able to improve any more on his current position as you see him pulling away from Bill Miller. And there's your race leader right now in the picture-in-picture, just making his way through turn 1. So look at that, 5th place all the way back at turn 14, while 1st place is accelerating out of turn 1. I joked about Raiden putting a half lap up on the field, but he's already there.
Half lap, full lap, 3/4 lap.
And he has got a almost 11-second gap between him and 2nd place Tyler Klein.
I'm honestly surprised he's not running in the Downforce race today.
He probably could with those lap times in that Miata.
This is just a warm-up for the main event.
But, the thing I'm more surprised about, Keith Williamson just casually settled into 3rd place, not really putting a lot of pressure on Tyler, and not really having a lot of pressure behind him. He's kind of out for a nice Sunday drive right now. Although, talking to him earlier, I'm sure he's content to just not put as hard of miles on his car because, Keith races full-time with NASA, used to be one of the organizers for NASA Southeast. Real good guy, real good racer, and, as long as he can drive it home and doesn't have to do any major repairs, he's happy. And,
that's how most drivers are.
Yeah, but when someone's on your bumper, that all goes to the wind. You forget about it, and you're racing for the W. And, we get a lot of exciting battles between Keith, Jose. Tal's been in there a few times. Bill had a podium finish the last race last season. So, kind of an any given Sunday with these guys. Obviously with the exception of Raiden Nickel, I think it'd be on 3 tires. He'd probably still be out front because he is just,
we could put him on 2. This is also is a motorcycle track. We can see what happens.
But he's, hey, that would be fun to do. We, just had that Evolve GT bike day last week. Yeah, love to see the kid out there on 2 wheels, see what he could do.
Well, he almost was on 2 wheels right there, clipping that apex.
Yeah, he must be listening to us on the radio.
He's tapped into race control, listening to the broadcast as well.
Yeah, he is using every square inch of asphalt out there. It's talk about using the entire racing surface, and he is doing a good job of that. Almost using that curbing to help turn the car a little bit. Another rule we relaxed last season that I'm not sure we made a big deal about on air is you'll notice the cars going wide in turn 6. That used to be a penalty. We pulled the drivers last year. No one seemed to think it gave too much of a significant advantage. So we started letting them go 4 off again. So now they can use the entire runoff, which definitely changes the dynamics coming through turn 6. And that's why you see those guys going pretty much all the way out to the grass on the exit of turn 6.
Just that little extra bit of space, can go a long way in the long run of things.
Yes, it can, and much like public karting back at the go-kart track, it's if someone's in your way, you just go on the grass.
The pass in the grass karting style.
Although if you want to get your damage deposit back,
yeah, that is important.
Yeah,
it's only $5.
Sure
you need to get it.
Make sure you don't hit the wall. And we are less than a minute to go. White flag is out right now. Ray Nickel with a 13.3 second gap over second place Tyler Klein.
Wonder if he's playing a song in his head, as he's driving. I do that. I don't know if drivers do that during a race.
I could see you like 99 red balloons just
in German.
Yeah. Yeah, no, German version.
Full volume, entirely turned all the way up. Just no. Or what's that? Sunshine song. What is it? Ray of Sunshine.
Right now, Ray Nickel making his way around the backside of the track.
He's just again on a Sunday cruise. Just kind of having a grand old time.
Tyler Klein is your second place driver right now. Like I said, another 10 seconds behind him is Keith Williamson. So almost a 23-second gap between first and third place. And your race winner, Ray Nickel, will take the checkered flag. And we're going to go see if Chris Conowall will go out there. I mean, he's probably going to get through the interview before second place even crosses the line. Well, let's see here as Tyler Klein makes his way past the stripe. He will clock in as your second place finisher. Now, this is all unofficial results because they still have to make it across the tech line. So as long as he is overweight and has his restrictor plate in, should be good. And there goes Mike Cottrell past the line.
There's Bill Miller and Bill Kring passing the line right there to see double checkers. I'm guessing, I think Steve Tyner is probably going to follow up in P8. Matt Saylor right behind him. Beautiful drone shot of the facility here today. I believe we're still waiting on a couple more drivers to cross the stripe.
I still love that trackside mic. It
is
taking everything I got not to make racetrack noises every time I hear a car go by.
It's the kid in you that's making you want to.
Well, it's like the guy, was it the F1 race where the guy was standing by the mic making the noises?
Grab the mic.
You know, we do read the comment sections, and we heard you, and we are piping in track noises this season.
Yes.
So We did our best last season, but we definitely picked up a nicer trackside mic, so you should hear all the noises as they come past that start-finish line. And some great drone shots of the facility here at Atlanta Motorsports Park.
Hey, that pool's about to open.
Yes, it is, and it's actually heated too. So if you're sitting trackside and you can hear me, the pool's warm. Jump in. So, because we got the hot tub and we got the pool, stays a nice, even temperature all year round.
Now, I've only been over there one time, but is that a putting green?
Yes, that is actually a 4-hole putting green.
Man,
go work on your short game while you're out here.
Now, when's Jeremy going to put in the full-size golf course?
That might be coming. It'd be fun. We've talked about potentially, put some holes out there on track after hours. You can tee off from the asphalt.
You know what? I got an idea. We'll tee off from. We'll do like a long drive range on top of the new condos that we've got.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Or just sit there at the top of turn 12 and just see if you can hit the building
or knock it off the tank.
And there is a shot of Raiden Nickel getting out of his car right now. Almost like no time has passed at all. He took a season off from racing Spec Miata with us, although he was on the road racing Spec Miata. That's why we didn't see him much last season. He's trying to keep the miles off the car, while he was out there competitive racing. So awesome job to see him back here. Completely dominated this race. Assuming everything stays the same, I don't think it's going to change for race number 2. But I believe Chris is getting out there. Hopefully get a word with your race winner, Raiden Nickel. I see our race director walking down there as well, going to make sure that car is legal. Especially if he's running 134s, you got to make sure that's legal. New track record. Awesome to see it when that happens. And, we only count them in competition, so a lot of these guys come out during member lapping, but that's not how you get the official time. You got to do it during a race day. So awesome job, a 134.653, your new Spec Miata track record. It looks like Chris Conowall is down there with your race winner. Chris, go ahead, take it away.
Yes, indeed. That's right. I'm here with race winner Raiden Nickel. Raiden, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but I'm sure you're going to find out. Sure enough, you set a track record here today in your Miata. First race of the season. Tell us how it feels.
Yeah, it feels great. Haven't driven her in about 6 months, so I thought I'd come out here and drive her again. I normally run in the Downforce class, so I have plenty of time on the track. But yeah, I think I've improved over the last time I was here from about 2 years ago, so it was good to come out here and put her on the track again.
Yeah, Will and I were talking about that, about your decision today to race Miata instead of Downforce. So tell us a little bit more about what went into that decision.
Really, it was all about, I drive the Downforce class a lot, so I thought we'd mix it up, put her back out on track, because the last time we drove her, I think, was September of last year. So it's good to shake her down, make sure everything's still running, and go out there and have fun.
For sure. And you were on the road with the Miata last, or in the break, is that right?
What do you mean?
Well, Will had mentioned that between the last time you came out and ran the Miata and then this season, that maybe during the off season you were doing something with Miata, or were you strictly Downforce?
We mainly did Downforce cars, I think. Yeah, we didn't do much with the Miata after September. Runoffs at SECA, strictly Downforce, running with the Radicals out at various tracks.
Excellent. Well, you were a force to be reckoned with out here, and we are going to watch you closely. But for our viewers out there who are maybe just getting to know you, tell them how old you are and how long you've been doing this.
So I'm 16, turned 17 in August, and I've been racing since I was 5. Loved cars since I was 3, so it's really just grown from there and slowly progressed. So we'll see where it goes.
Excellent. Well, we'll be watching you closely. Congratulations on your first win, your track record, and we'll see you in the next race. All right?
Thank you.
All right. All right, guys, I'm going to send it back into you. I'm going to try to track down Jose Garcia and Bill as well to hear a little bit about their competition there for positions 5 and 6. Is that right, Will?
Yeah, that was the battle we were focused on most of the race. And, I definitely want to hear from Bill. Bill and Jose both, because Jose was trying to line them up and Bill was doing a great job defending, although it took Jose to about lap 10 or 11 to get by. I mean, I'd love to hear from the two of them.
Yeah, I've got Jose Garcia here. Jose, do you mind slipping these on are you able to put these on? We want to talk to you about. Excellent. Yeah, so we are here. Jose Garcia, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Well, your race out there today was hotly contested, and we were watching it close there with Bill. Tell us what was going on between the two of you as you guys battled it out here today, first race of the season.
So I started in the back because I didn't have a transponder for quali, and I was able to move a few positions and ended up in a battle with Bill and the other car. My car was having some kind of electrical issue and cutting off. We thought it was under load, but then it started doing, as I was about to make a pass on the straight, did it twice on the braking zone. So the only way it was coming on is under shifting and, kicking it in.
So that wasn't a shifting issue. That was an electrical issue where we saw you stutter for just a moment and then have to race back?
Yeah, I did it in 3 or 4 spots in the track and twice on the straight on the braking. So we don't know what it is because it's not only under load. So it's a little difficult to race like that. So it's completely shuts off for like 3 or 4 seconds.
Wow. Well, you raced an exciting race, and then between races, hopefully you're able to sort that out. And Jose, you're a staple out here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. But for our viewers, let's hear where you're from and how long you've been racing, real quick.
Jose Garcia from Puerto Rico originally. I think AMP is my home. I spend more time here than any other track. I'm just a club racer. I love the people that come here, the people that run this event. As you know, I kart race as well. So I've been racing since the track opened, essentially. I learned to drive here, and I honed my skills here, whatever, if you want to call it skills. So I'll be here as long as I'm physically able.
For sure. We really enjoy seeing you out here. Good luck in the next race, and we'll be seeing you out here the whole season, sir. Good to see you.
Thanks, buddy.
All righty. Bye-bye. All right. There you go, folks. Jose Garcia in the 00.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, he forgot about the headset.
Yeah, I almost took off of the radio. I mean, he could leave it on, listen to us during race number 2. I think it'd be hard to wear that in his helmet. And we have got a full grid of radical downforce cars sitting there ready to go. So we are waiting on race control to give us the word. Once they see all cars on grid, they're going to go ahead and get them released. So it is going to be interesting to see what happens here in race number 2 in Downforce. It was some exciting action, watching the battle between Greg and David and the SR3s, and also the battle between the SR1s, Evan Lowry and Blake Fabiani, although they weren't battling it out as much as the SR3s were. But definitely exciting to see the two of them out there dusted up. Blakely definitely with his first race in SR1. Him and Jarvis both got podium spots. So it's going to be fun to call their names later today when we do the podium ceremony. They are, both on their first race day here with us, both not new to racing, but the, first time in a car, is definitely nerve-wracking, especially when it's a rental too, because
yeah, you mess that one up, it's not going to be a good day.
Yeah, break it, you bought it. So, and I got race directors actually in here right now, so he's giving us the thumbs up. So I think we're about ready to send this grid. And we'll see what is going on. And you can see that beautiful EV DeLorean taken to the grid right now. Drone feed getting a little chunky right there. Usually what happens when the controller is not facing the direction of the drone. As the talent is passive-aggressively talking to the drone operators right now. Everybody's in here grabbing waters and taking a break in between the races.
It is a little warm today. It's in the mid 70s, I think. Is the
Yeah, that's
high
the
today.
thing about this time of year. You wake up and it's full jacket winter mode, and then by the time you get to lunch, it's shorts and t-shirt weather.
I mean, Georgia, 1 second will be negative 10 degrees and snow, and the next it's sunny and 900 degrees of the 10th layer of Hades.
Yes, and real quick, we do want to mention one of our sponsors, Dusterhoff Racing. I know we haven't given him a read yet today, but rev up your passion for speed with Dusterhoff Racing. Whoa!
We've already got a spin at the beginning.
That's the pace car.
Well, that's
yeah.
that's
See if
unusual.
we get that on replay. Oh man, and Rachel Heiler, our pace car driver.
I
today.
know what happened.
I know who we're interviewing after this race.
I know what happened.
That is what happens when you put too much torque and too much that EV conversion in there. I bet you she whomped on and that thing just came out.
All right, here we go. Let's break down
see.
the spin of the pace car and just
Whoop. Just got on the gas a little too soon. That back end came around. And, hey, good on everybody else for not hitting her.
yeah.
and not hitting each other.
I bet you that's a little nerve-wracking.
Yep, and it looks like our pace car is going to be starting in 4th position. They get her out. I think they have to give her the point by. We'll have to see what race control does about that. I don't think we've seen that. But that is something you do see every now and then in Formula Racing. Those guys are going at such a higher rate of speed, and they can handle so much better that, when you're in just a basic street car and you're trying to keep pace, or at least to stay at a high enough pace for these guys to be happy, that's still hard to control these cars. So there goes the pace car getting the point by. So a very exciting pace lap number 1.
Yeah, that was rather entertaining.
So, like we were saying, Dusterhoff Racing, rev up your passion for speed with Dusterhoff Racing, the authority in late model performance, offering tuning, packages, and parts. Dusterhoff Racing is there with you from the track to victory lane. Our expertise fuels your journey to greatness. Experience the thrill of domination. Join the Dusterhoff Racing family today by visiting www.dtracing.com. And I'll tell you, Dusterhoff Racing, the reason they are here and the reason they are friends with us is they donated that drag racing tree that we're actually about to use later today for the members social. And always a big supporter. He's got that very first condo there.
Oh, that's right.
You can see he's got some very nice cars, a lot of Mopars. Prepped, ready to go. And he's actually going to have some of his buddies coming out today for drag racing. So really excited to see.
So I was unaware of the drag racing event today. Where is said drag racing taking place?
2 o'clock on the front straightaway. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to smoke you. I got a stick shift.
I've got my helmet, so let's do this.
I will. You get rolled. I'm going to sling some gears.
All right. Probably will. I'll just put it in track mode. We'll have fun.
But we are very appreciative to Kurt Dusterhoff and Dusterhoff Racing and everything they've done for us in the program here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. We've got that pro drag tree now, so it really spices things up for our member socials. And anytime we do drag racing, we had that drag racing event we did after the last main track race day last season. We told the drivers, hey, if you want to go hop in your tow rig, hop in your daily, whatever you got with you, do some drag racing. And they were all like, heck yeah. And we had the autocross guys joined in, and it was really fun. And that pro drag tree is no joke. We used to do it where, one of the corner marshals just get up there and ready, go,
Green.
And send them. And that half-second reaction time is no joke on that professional drag tree.
I'm all about reaction time. I might be colorblind, but at least I can see the color change.
And right now, it looks like they are getting gridded up 2 by 2. We should see the pace car come off, unless they're going to let them do one more formation lap. I don't think so. She is hugging wide right now, which makes me think she's about to get off track. As your pace car driver, Rachel Heiler, does exit the track. So that means we are going green this time by 2 by 2 by 2. Your downforce grid. Look at that, all 14 of them in formation coming down the front straightaway. We should hear those engines start to sing.
There we go.
And you see that F1 starting light in use. Green, green, green. We are underway. Look at that. 4 wide coming into turn 1. Wow. And
not sure who got shuffled all the way back right there, but they were in the top 5.
They were 4 wide at entry. That was insane, and they all kept it clean. You know, as the Primal Racing, you know, with half those cars being their rental cars, I bet Tyler probably puckered up a little bit on that. We'll have to wait till he gets in here in the booth, ask him how that went, what his opinion was. But look at that, David Mason, Greg Folger already off to an early lead. And look at that, Pearson trying to shove it to the inside. He gets around somebody. That looked like William Layton. So expect to see him charging to the front. That was kind of uncharacteristic of Pearson in that first race. You know, he's normally one of the guys running up there at the front, you know, tossing around with Chris Hune, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. He's off in China on business, but told me he will be back here in April.
I was about to say, that's a name that sounds very familiar. That's always
He
out
was
here,
our-
and not seeing that on the
Chris,
scoring tower.
Chris was our SR3 winner last season, but he's got a pretty important job over at Horizon Hobbies. So, you know, I do a lot of RC car racing, so that's how I know who he is and who he works for. But he's a great driver, always out here. Sad that he's not with us today, but I'm sure he's watching from home right now. Another guy out of that garage, Matt White, normally with us. He's watching from home as well. Gave me a buzz, said he wasn't coming up, said he had some stuff to go move and wasn't going to be able to make the drive up from Tampa. So we're missing both of them right now out of the Hong Nor garage. And looks like we got Tyler up here in the booth with us right now. Let's see if we get him a headset and a mic real quick. Tyler, yeah. Tell me you're watching that race star when you take 4 wide.
I was crossing my fingers a little bit. Yeah, I was up on the new Sky Deck that Atlanta Motorsports Park.
Are we going to have a school next week?
Yeah, so everybody, you know, and that's the thing with this series. All the students who are out here, you know, they've gone through our schools, they've gone through training, and they're here because they've earned it. And so everybody runs with respect, and they understand that. And that shows in the racing we have here.
I mean, the most impressive part to me was they did 4 wide
on the very first lap.
Very first lap, and they stayed completely clean.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a big thing I push, you know. We're out here to have clean, fun racing. We want to put on a good show. And, you know, you got to earn to be here. I do like to really work with people and make sure they're ready to step into this as they excel out of our schools. And I think the racing that we watch here, and just that example of 4 wide into turn 1, I think it shows that.
Well, yeah, y'all are definitely some good coaches if that's how they're able to handle it through there. And here comes your leaders down the front straightaway. Look at that, David Mason running the fastest lap of the race so far with a 122.206. Whoa, we got one driver around in turn 1.
That is Pete Folger in his SR3 XXR. He had a spin, you know, last race, and I know that he was trying. He just bought that car. He's probably
getting used to the power, the extra power.
He's coming out of the SR1, and he's upgraded to the 3. So this is really going to be a season of learning for him.
And
he really was getting really good with the SR1. He won the championship last year in the SR1 class. So now he's stepping into the 3, and he's really, it's kind of learning all over again.
Now, he's in the XXR, so take us through, because there's obviously a difference between the SR1 and SR3, and then there's another difference between the 3 and the 3 XXR. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So the SR1 is what we use in our racing school. It's 1,000 pounds and has 180 horsepower. The SR3, you get 2 motor options. You have the SR3 XXR, and that's the newest generation model. You can either get it standard with a 1340cc motor with 200 horsepower, or you can upgrade, like most guys like to do, because more power is better. They like to get it with the 1500cc option, and that gives you around 230 horsepower.
Okay. Now, is that the standard in the XXR? Is the 1500?
The standard is 1340.
Okay, so that's an upgrade for both.
So if we look at David Mason, Greg Folger, Pete Folger, they all have the 1500cc. Also with John Pearson, I know he has, I believe, the 1500 from my understanding.
A little bit of passing action there in turn 1.
Made it stick. Awesome job. That was Jose going for a pass, it looks like, on Jarvis Lee. We got a spin.
Ooh,
that was what
just happened.
Spin going down to turn 1. So that
was the 88.
That looks like that was
Blakely
Fabiani.
Ooh, he went for a ride there, man. almost pulled a Shane Anderson, but kept it out of the beach.
So that was a interesting watch for William Layton. He was right there, and William saw him coming straight across his nose. And
You want to talk about going, oh, no.
No, 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 yes.
Was it from the Cleveland show? No, 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 no.
Hard on the binders.
And honestly, something like that is easy to do because coming through 15 and 16, you're coming to the fastest part of the track into turn 1, which is one of the slowest corners here. The track falls away, goes downhill. You're loading up that front end really aggressively, and with just a little bit of steering input, that rear end can rotate.
And look at this, Greg Folger looking for an opening right now. Looks to the inside, looks to the outside, but David Mason doing a great job keeping that door shut. And look at this.
Oh, and he spins too.
Oh! And he tried to go to the outside and then tried to dip it back in and lost control. And he's really on safari. Thank God they cut the grass out there in the carousel. He might be able to make his way back on track. Let's see if we got that on replay.
Yeah, he's making his way back out there. Hopefully he can merge safely
Look at
with
that.
all
He
these other
tried
cars.
raking that in from the outside line, and you can see him fighting it. He almost tried to drift that thing out, and he just could not do it. Oh. And that is going to put a little bit of a gap. We're going to have to see what that official gap is as they come by. And that's probably going to let Evan Lowry get around him. So there's going to be some traffic ahead of him if he's going to want to try and catch back up to David Mason.
And this race has been full of some entertaining moments so far.
We have had all kinds
Not even halfway done.
You have spins, slips. I mean, and no contact. That's what's the incredible part is no one's made contact yet.
The track's getting hotter. The tires are getting warmer. We're more in the afternoon. The track is getting a bit greasier. I was talking to the drivers after that last race, and they said, they were slipping and sliding a little bit, and I think we're seeing that this race.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see conditions have changed from race 1 to race 2. And we were talking about that earlier. It's that time of year where it's winter weather in the morning and it's nice summer weather by lunchtime.
Do we have a temperature read on the track currently? I'd guess probably somewhere around 90 degrees.
So now it's going to be interesting. We're going to see if we have a mover with Greg Folger trying to make some ground. There he is, just coming in your shot versus coming into turn 2 and 3 and up to turn 4.
He's got some competition ahead of him. He's got Fabiani, Pearson, and Alvarez all in front of him right now.
Yep. We're going to see how Greg can kind of maneuver through this traffic carefully and
let's see.
Make some ground up.
Trying to make the move on Fabiani right now.
I think he's going to go inside.
And he's going to shoot it to the inside. Let's see if he gets it here. No. Fabiani didn't leave him enough track, which was smart on his part, although these guys aren't technically racing each other. They are definitely giving it everything they can because it doesn't matter whether you're an SR3 or an SR1. You want to win. It doesn't matter if you're, in your own race, in your own class. You want to be that first guy.
Well, see, this is really fascinating because this is mixed car racing. We have an SR1, an SR3, an SR1, and then another SR3.
Well, and if you looked at the lap times, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. If you just looked at the lap times, these guys are all on an even pace, and that's what makes this race in action so much fun.
It's positioned 4 through 7.
Oh, look at that! Oh, man, almost made contact there. And I don't think Fabiani saw him.
So with the SR3, you can run a different line. It looks like Fabiani got a little squirrely coming out of 16 there. But you run a different line in the SR1 and the carousel, and the SR3 has a lot more grip. You can hug it tight. But there he goes, makes the pass. Onward to now John Pearson. We'll see if Greg can make it by.
Now this is, you don't like to see that kind of stuff at the start of the race when someone spins, but it definitely makes it exciting when you see a faster driver trying to cut through the field. And from a contact standpoint, that's obviously what race control doesn't want to see because that's when you're most likely to make contact. And, we do our best. And here he goes again. Ooh, to the inside. And he's able to get past Pearson. So Greg Folger getting 2 positions already on this lap. Now he has got Jose Alvarez. And he's got a little bit of a ground to cover, but something tells me he'd probably be hot on his bumper by the time they make their way back around to turn 1.
Greg Folger was really pushing the car going into turn 10 right there. He had a little bit of a bobble, gathered it up, everything's good. Now he's just got to get a good exit out of 13, get a good run. He should be surging up to Jose with that extra power and downforce, and we'll see if he can get up enough to make a pass down to turn 1. You can just watch the gap closing more and more as they're coming through 16.
And we are just hitting Just hitting halfway. 10 minutes down, 10 minutes to go.
He's going to get him in turn 1 or right at the line.
And there he goes to the inside. Let's see. And, yeah, he's going to make that stick. He didn't open the door. He kicked it down. He said, knock, knock, I am here.
Can we talk about Evan Lowry for a minute, though? I mean, he has been consistent. He's been running a great race. He finished first last race. He's now second overall.
Yes, and that
is fantastic.
Real impressive, especially in the SR1, competing against those SR3s. And Evan Lowry, he came on the scene hot last year, and I expect to see good things out of him this year.
I'm also really happy with Will Layton, where he's sitting. If he can kind of just keep his nose clean, get through the next 10 minutes of this race, finish on the podium, I'm going to be real happy for him because he had that scary moment at the start of the race.
Yes.
Where Blakely spun directly across in turn 1. So he's had an exciting race so far.
Well, and to be honest, I bet he was probably excited to see Blakely going off in front of him because that was who beat him last race. So,
yeah,
that's they trading positions on the podium right now. And if Blakely doesn't get it together, he's actually going to be off the podium for race 2.
This is actually coming up. We're looking at Will Layton leading this little group of 3, and then Jarvis behind, and then there is Greg Folger. So that is a podium spot. These 2 SR1s right here. There's Will, there's Jarvis, and then Greg Folger. Will's going really defensive in turn 1, and now here's Greg Folger going to come in, probably getting between them. This is not going to help Jarvis because Jarvis is trying to get by Will right here. So
yes, and yeah, they're probably going to have to concede and just let Greg on by. Because he's going to shake things up if they try and block or try and defend and pass at the same time. And look at this. He thought about it, stuck his nose to the inside a little bit, but he's got to set himself up. Whoa, look at that, way out of position.
Jarvis could see Will
going. Look at that.
Oh, man.
Layton lost so much speed there going to the inside. I don't know what happened with that, but he's still in position. He still hasn't given up second place.
So Will went defensive into turn 6, and he pushed big time and had a big bobble coming off. Jarvis went wide trying to take a different line, and now Greg is trying to be careful but also get by these guys because he knows they're racing.
Greg's already passed John, so Greg's comfortably in second place right now. He doesn't gain anything in his race by passing any of these drivers, and he gets by Layton. Oh, it looks like Jarvis got around him as well. Did Layton make a mistake coming through there?
I'm not sure. I don't know if
I look like the orange helmet in the back. I can't.
Yeah,
like
we'll
he's
have
a
to
little
see.
off pace.
Will might have missed a shift. Something could have happened.
Yeah, because
Jarvis,
they both got around him during turn 12.
Jarvis took advantage of that, and now Jarvis has the podium spot right now.
So actually, both of them are on podium right now. They got to fend off. Jose Alvarez is the next one in contention, and he's coming up hot behind them right now. As Greg Folger is able to get past both those drivers.
Sometimes it's best to kind of just sit back and let everybody else duke it out. Mm-hmm. In drafting tracks, it kind of factors in, they pull the drag off of each other in the oval circuits.
Well, and in this race, the wild card we had last season was all those Praga R1s just darting up to the front during the race starts. You imagine that 4-wide start we had with a couple of Praga R1s in there.
5 or 6 wide at one point in time.
So David Mason just controlling this race. He's comfortably out front. He's about to cross start-finish line here. And Evan Lowry, been a pretty quiet race for him as well.
And you can just look at their lap times. Look at that. David Mason turning his fastest lap of the race right there, 121.883. He is a full second faster than the next closest person, and he is driving away with this right now.
Might get the hat trick, get both wins today.
Yeah, and he will probably be on the trailer already loading by the time second place gets to the line. And we are 14 minutes into this 20-minute contest. Look at that. Greg Folger just turned the fastest lap of the race, so David Mason did it. And then just after that, Greg Folger did it. So right now, your fastest time, a 121.662 in this contest. So every time you see that purple bar slide up on your scoring tower, that means they just ran the fastest lap out of all drivers.
Kind of went a little high up there, didn't he?
And right now, as we're getting into the waning moments of these races, these drivers are doing everything they can. They're starting to push these cars. And, this race is just as much about managing your consumables. And if you've been running it hard early, you're not going to have them there with you at the end. And so we got to see what's left in the tank for all these guys. And as you notice, they start pushing it. The cars start getting a little squirrelier because the tires are a little too warm. They don't quite have as much grip as they did at the start. And, that's when anything can happen. That's obviously how we saw Greg spin out earlier in the race. He started to push it and lost control.
If you got to, at a certain point as a driver, you're always pushing the limits, right? You're getting as much out of the car as you can and yourself. Sometimes you step over that limit a little bit. It happens, right? But you want to be on that edge, learning. Sometimes you can get away with it. You push it a little over and you can handle it, but other times, it might get you. And this time, unfortunately, it got Greg. He got a little too hot into the corner and had to spin, but he's made a really good rebound, and I'm happy to see how he's kind of fought back in this race.
Yes, he has recovered really well. I mean, he lost about 6 positions and has gotten about every one of them back except for Evan Lowry, although I am not certain. I mean, he is closing that gap.
He can get back there. He's got,
There's
4 minutes.
only a 3-second gap. So, yeah, I take that statement back because we've got 4 minutes to go in this race. So it is very doable that he gets right back into that second overall position. And I would expect Lowry – I'd expect him to race it, but he's comfortably got P1 in the bag for SR1. So, do you give the point by and just let Greg by and just make sure you don't risk it? Because to me, that'd be the smart play.
And that's the thing. And I talk to the guys about this type of racecraft in our racing schools, but – when you're out there and you're in a good position and you don't want to lose time, you always have to run your race. You have to understand where you're at in your race, and you understand the other car. So if he sees a big black car in his mirror, well, hey, that's not an SR1. That's not who I'm fighting against. Find a good spot, back off a little, let him go. Don't lose a lot of time. Get back in a rhythm. Because what can happen is Greg can get up behind him, start pressuring him, and Evan can start making mistakes, potentially allowing Jarvis, Will, and Jose kind of catch up.
It's kind of like when you see my Corolla in your rearview mirror.
All right.
Hey, buddy, you ain't running this race.
Keep talking your talk, Will. We'll settle this in a little bit.
And right now, 17 minutes down, just over 2.5 minutes to go. We'll probably see another lap before the white flag comes out. We'll have to see. This is kind of up to race control and when to throw it. Sometimes we get 22 minutes of racing. Sometimes we get 20 minutes exactly. I'm always a fan of overtime. I love as much racing as I can get. So we'll have to see. Look at that Evan Lowry turning his fastest lap that last time by with a 123.149.
I think he sees somebody in his mirrors.
It's definitely pushed him to drive a little bit faster.
I think he's starting to turn on the jets a little bit.
And right now, you can see, I believe, no, that's Pearson back there. So we're watching, this looks like Jarvis, Layton, and Alvarez right now that we're watching as they're coming through turn 11. This is the battle for the podium right now. Jarvis and Layton currently on it. And Jose Alvarez trying to get up there. Or Rob Dam, as I said earlier. But no, that is Jose Alvarez right now running in the 6th position. So this might get exciting between these guys in the mid-pack because right now there is 2 of them have a spot. One of them goes home empty-handed. So we're going to have to see. And it's probably going to come down to Alvarez and Layton, although I expect Layton to put up quite the fight if Alvarez is able to catch back up.
Layton is good at being defensive, but as long as he doesn't be overly defensive and make a mistake, Jose can get up close to him.
And I see the white flag in hand right now from our starter, so that means next time by will be the one to go. So we'll have to see when David Mason makes his way around. So it should be coming up shortly because we are just hitting 19 minutes in this race. So these are 20-minute sprint races. That doesn't mean the field's frozen exactly at 20 minutes. It just means we throw that white flag as close to 20 minutes as we can, so that way we can get it in, roughly on time. And there goes David Mason to take the white flag. He has got quite the gap right now between second place.
This is just hit your marks and bring it home.
And great camera shot from FPV pilot Daryl Cannon, Killboy.com.
Another exciting news from us is we'll be going to Radical Cup here, Barber Motorsports Park, in the end of April.
Oh,
and
awesome.
We're going to be taking some of our AMP members, David Mason, Greg Folger, and Chris Hune
Oh, nice.
will be going out there and competing, and it's going to be a ton of fun. And I'm real excited to see how our guys do representing A&P over at Barber Motorsports Park.
When's the is it before or after the April 20th date we got
It's the
coming
week
up?
after.
Oh, so we're not gonna have an update till May to give everybody at home.
Nope.
Well, we are definitely excited about that. Love to see the guys out there competing. And right now, David Mason just off on a Sunday drive as he makes his way through the final 2 turns. That big double sweeper, turn 14 into 15. About to crest the hill here as he makes his way through Eau Rouge. There's 15, hits his apex. And David Mason is going to cruise down the front straightaway, taking the double checkered flag. He is going to be your race 2 winner. And let's see if Greg Folger does get around Evan Lowry. Let's see as he comes into frame here soon. Waiting. And there comes Folger. And, man, 25-second gap between first and second place. And, you know, it would have been a minute and a half had Craig Folger not put in so much work during that race.
It came from overall P8 all the way back up to P2. And it's pretty impressive to see that run.
And Evan Lowry, Jarvis Lee, William Layton will all cross the stripe almost within rapid succession of each other. That will solidify your SR1 podium. And right now we are waiting on John Pearson to come by, and that will finish things up for the SR3 podium. And that was Pete Folger that came by. So John already passed the stripe, so he will be your 3rd place for SR3. Pete Folger will be 4th. Hey, guys, wave to the camera. You are on the stream right now over on the deck. We are live streaming Facebook, YouTube. And that will wrap it up. Hey, look, there's some guys over there on the balcony. Not sure if they can hear us from the building speakers, but we can definitely see working the zoom on that tower cam.
You know what? That just says you should buy a condo here at A&P.
Where else can you wake up, open the doors, and watch racing? I know you can't do that at AMS more than twice a year.
No, you're right. Those condos are pretty sweet.
Yeah, so you can do that we have about 20 series races here every year, so –
it's cool to see them being built out and really unique and that continuing. But, man, I've really appreciated being here.
We appreciate having you in the booth. Thank you for coming up here, Tyler. And good luck to all you guys next month out at Barber. And, and good job to your guys. Obviously, you're doing something right, coaching those guys, keeping it clean. Oh, there we got Blaine Hensley up there on the roof. Oh, there's Killboy and his drone. Gonna dap it up for us on the roof there.
But yeah, it's obviously been awesome to see the series just continue to grow, and it's a full team effort. It takes a lot of people to put these on. We have all these awesome crew guys down on pit lane that do so much work to make these cars, running good, and all the drivers. I've just been happy to watch their progression and getting faster and faster, and I'm excited to just continue watching the series grow and get more people involved. So, looking forward to being back next month.
Well, thank you, Tyler. We appreciate it, and we're going to hand your mic over to Chris Conowall as he's going to head out and see if we can get a word with our winners. I told him to go ahead and grab Greg. I want to hear from him what that was like.
Fighting all the way back up.
He went for a ride. I also want to hear. I want to hear from Blakely Fabiani.
Man, that was a wild ride.
What his immediate thought was when you're looking backwards, sliding across the front bumper.
I don't know if we can say that on air.
Shoot!
I know what my words would have been. It definitely wouldn't have been kid friendly.
I think in the Christmas story, it's "oh fudge."
Yes.
is the proper terminology.
Also screaming like a little girl.
Yes,
on top of that.
That's all you would have heard from me. And you would have heard on the radio, I need a pants change. I'm coming in. Need a hot swap.
I'm going to need a new seat, too, while I'm at it.
Yeah.
Might be stained.
Going to need some Febreze.
Get you a little tree,
Yeah, you got to put the air freshener on the roll bar. But, yeah, that was definitely awesome and a commanding performance. So it looks like Chris is down there with David Mason. We're going to go ahead and let Chris take it away.
That's right. Here with David Mason, Downforce winner here in the SR3 today. You put up, let's see, a 121.883 lap 11. We'd love to hear about the experience and how consistency and progress paid off for you today.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Greg pushed me there. Yeah, could have passed me there in turn one. He laid off a little bit, but I appreciate that. But it was a lot of fun. He's fast. Made it a fun race and enjoying the first time in victory. So it's just awesome. I want to say thank you to my wife, Tammy. She's chased me around here for 2 years, following me, and any adventure I come up with, she's just right there with me. And so I just want to tell her thanks.
What an awesome feeling to have your wife out here to support you and see you take the podium there, number one here today. Anything else you'd like to share with our viewing audience out there, and what can we expect this season out of you, sir?
Well, I'll be here. Hopefully I can have something for Chris when he comes back. So I'm getting better every time. So looking forward to the season. It's going to be a blast.
Excellent. We do appreciate it. Great interview, and we'll see you on the podium. We're going to step over and talk to Greg here about his fight back up. Thank you, sir. Yeah, there it is, the 29 car, Greg Folger. We're going to talk to him about the epic battle back up to second, if you'll put those on for me, sir. And, wow, that was an incredible race back from 8th back up to second. What can you tell us about that? A, what happened, and B, how you made it back?
I promised myself going into this one I wouldn't try anything dumb because I had no mirrors, same as last time. I told David I'd follow him, but something clicks in your brain when you get beside him, like, let's go for a move. Just went in a little hot, left it, and then, like you said, to battle back up, just tried to recover what I could the rest of the race.
That's awesome. Now, who do we have right here behind you? Because this is a story inside of a story, right? Are you racing with somebody special out here today?
Absolutely. It's something my father and I do together, so I'd like to thank him for it. Like I said, gave him a shout-out after the first race. So this is his first year in the SR3 1500 as well. So glad to be out here and be able to do that with him. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And stepping up to the 1500cc SR3, is that right?
That's correct. Yes, sir. I was in the 1340 last year. He's jumping up from an SR1 to a 1500 SR3. So glad to see he made it back. Looks like he enjoyed himself. But, yeah, it was a fantastic weekend and a great race.
Well, way to pull it back together there, and we'll see you guys on the podium. Congratulations. We're going to go talk to Evan Lowry here, the SR1.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys, let's see if we can track down Evan Lowry, who won, I think, did he win both races in the SR1?
Yes, he did. He was race 1 and race 2 winner. And
Awesome.
see if you can get Blakely as well after you get Evan. I really want to hear the story of of that. And I think I see Blakely right ahead of you. I can't tell. We're kind of tucked away here in the booth. Yeah, there's Evan right there in front of you.
He's probably giving a big old sprint to his
Hey
car.
there, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, introduce yourself to the viewing audience here, and let's talk about these races.
I'm Evan Lowry. I'm from Auburn, Alabama, and I came up here to race.
Yeah, and race you did. You won both races, is that right?
Yeah.
Excellent. So how many seasons is this out here for you?
This is technically my second season because the first season I raced in about, I think, 5 of the 8 races, and I started in June. And from then on, I continued and missed one more race after June. But this season, I'm trying to make up for it and go every race.
Well, you're a dynamic racer and really making that SR1 really work for you. How long you been in racing altogether?
Well, technically, you could say I started in late 2022. That's when I did the first, like a one-day primal school. I got it for my birthday. I had been over at the kart tracks, and then I saw it over here. My parents saw the cars driving on the track, and they were wondering, how do we do that? And so from then on, I got for my birthday, I got a present for do the one-day school. And from then on, I started doing sim racing and stuff. And eventually, 3-day school, moved on to 2-day. Then I had Tyler tell me he really wants me to participate in a race. And then that's when I started racing last year out in June. And from then on there, I've just loved coming out here and racing and everything.
Wow, what a great story! So you started your journey right over at the kart track there, and next thing you know, you're winning out here and you're going to be taking the podium today. What a great great journey, and we look forward to seeing you out here. And once again, anybody you'd like to say a special thank you beyond your folks and Tyler?
It's mainly just them. I'm very appreciative of them. I'm very appreciative of Tyler guiding me through all this, helping me gain my consistency and race pace and everything, and working with me. And obviously my parents too for helping back all this and make it where I'm able to do all this. So really just a big thank you to them.
Awesome. Okay. Well, congratulations to you. We'll see you on the podium. Let's see who we've got right over here. Racing in the SR1, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And let's get an introduction for those folks out there in our viewing audience. Tell me your name, sir.
Blakely Fabiani. Usually in the Miatas, but decided to do SR1 today.
Yeah, and it was quite a race there, and the guys want to walk us through the progression between the first race, the second race, and overall how it went for you.
Yeah, it started off good. Qualified on pole, and then second place in the first race. The second race, the car was really difficult to drive. Lots and lots and lots of understeer. So I was fighting it, locked them up into one, and did a little off-track excursion there for a second.
For sure. And so between the two, you said you're typically out here in Spec Miata. And is this your first season in the Downforce?
Yeah, it's the first season that I've run the Radicals here at AMP.
Excellent. So really quick before we send it back inside, where do you hail from, sir?
From Cumming, Georgia.
Excellent. Well, good run out there. We're going to see you on the podium. Is that right?
Yep, that sounds right.
All right, congratulations to you. All right, guys, we're going to send it back inside now as we get ready for, I guess, our second Spec Miata race.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's as you heard from Blakely Fabiani, cool, calm, and collected there, man. It would not have been me going sideways through turn one.
Not at all. I would, like I said previously, I'd be saying a lot of non-kid-friendly words.
You wouldn't even need a mic. You would hear me screaming over the sounds of all the engines.
Hey, Will?
200 yards down. Yes, sir.
I got one more, a man who needs no introduction, but we're gonna put him on the spot here and have him introduce himself out to the racing world and talk about today.
Yeah, my name's Jarvis Lee. Came from the kart track, KA100, and my first race in SR1, Downforce.
Oh, so I thought I had seen you out here racing Downforce before, but no, for sure over at the kart track. I mean, you're a legend over there, and it's really great to see you over here. So let's talk about the differences, the obvious and the not so obvious differences.
The G-force, the G-force on the neck, really, you feel it. This one you have to manage the weight, the balance. A lot more fun, to be honest.
Yeah. So if folks want to get started out here, you got started in the karts, and now how many years altogether to now be in a Downforce racing around the main track?
My first year in the main track, third year in racing overall.
Very good. So for folks out there who are thinking about getting started, would you say AMP makes it easy for you?
Definitely. Go kart first and then move up on the main track. It's the best way to do it. I followed Ridden Nichols' full step, so there it goes.
Yeah, awesome. Like I said, you're a staple out here. Good to see you, and we'll see more of you out here on SR1s. All right, we're going to send it back inside now.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, we were excited to see Jarvis Lee on the sign-up sheet. We've been watching him for a couple years back at Kart Track, and so definitely awesome to see him out running his first races in the SR1. And, yeah, like you said, great testament to the progression you can make here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. We really are set up to be an academy-type venue where if you are looking to get into racing, there is no better place to start than right here. We have one of the most extreme go-kart tracks in the United States. If you can drive here, you can drive anywhere.
Yes.
And then, once you get that under your belt and you get that mastered, you can move up here to the big 2-mile main track and really hone in your craft. This is a driver's track. You talk to any one of the instructors, anyone that's ever been out here, and they will tell you the track is never the same. Every time you drive it, there is always something you can learn. You never really master it out here. And when you watch these guys driving the line, going around the track, they are literally going from inside to outside, back to inside. That line, it's all over the track, and that's what makes it hard to pass. That's what makes it fun to pass. When you're able to successfully get around somebody here, it is very rewarding, and it is awesome when you're finally able to make it stick. You're able to get around somebody, and what's cool about it is you don't even have to be racing to have fun. There is so much room for improvement and growth that you can make when you're on track out here that, not even racing, not even running time, just, getting in your Toyota Corolla and going out there and turning some laps.
Well, you keep talking about Toyota Corolla, and you're just making me want to go get my car and run with these Miata guys.
when you're doing 2.5 minute lap times in your Corolla.
2.5. Let's do 2. Let's do 2.25.
Nah, I think we could easily get it under 2 minutes.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared though to put my car on the track. Not gonna lie, because I have a tendency of overdriving corners.
Well, I used to have the big 392 Dodge Challenger. That was my track car of choice for a while, but recently had a child, so I had to downgrade from 500 horsepower to the 170 horsepower of the Toyota Corolla. But
how's it feel to drive a mom car?
It is, gets me from point A to point B.
That's exactly how I feel.
But I will give you a little story. The first time I ever took that Corolla on track, we were actually doing some discovery laps with the local police department. We had our big amped up event last season, and that was where we actually got the local police to come out and chase people on track. It was such a cool and fun experience. We invited a lot of the local youth to come out, encourage them to get off the streets, get on track. And so in the prep for that event, we had to do some discovery laps with the police officers. So I actually had 5 uniform officers all wearing helmets in my Corolla, shoulder to shoulder to shoulder in the back seat, one up front. And we were out there doing full speed laps on a hot track. And it's probably one of my favorite memories working here. I'm not going to lie. You tell me you get to drive over the speed limit with 5 cops in your car.
One of my favorite memories of working here was years ago, and this was forever ago. This was back when we had the long stretch go-kart, or not go-kart, but a golf cart. And there was 3 or 4 of them, and all of us, the whole staff got involved in a drag race per se down the front stretch and in stretch golf carts. It's a lot about weight and balance in those things. You don't realize how much the weight really affects driving style.
And didn't want to cut you off while you were talking. It was a great shot there of pace car driver Rachel Heiler. Geez, I'm going to butcher that. Talking about people that need to change their underwear after last race.
We probably need to.
I think that was just setting the pace for the whole race.
Hey, did a good job.
Monkey see, monkey do. Well, if pace car's doing it, then obviously.
Rachel, if you can hear us, let's do it again.
I don't know. Hopefully, 3 years of doing it. It's the first time I've seen her spin out there. So, don't want to jinx it again. But I think it's a testament to how much power is in that DeLorean.
Yes,
they definitely upped the juice in that, and that is Ampere EV's SEMA show car that they bring with all their technology. So I definitely know Matt watching this from home. He probably puckered up a little bit.
I think we all did.
Yeah. We're all sitting there trying to figure out who it was, and that stainless steel body was hitting the sun just right, blended right into the sand trap. But we are getting those Miatas to grid. If you guys can hear me out there and need all spec Miata, go ahead, get on grid. Spec Miata, I need you on grid as we are getting ready to go. And we're going to take a quick break here real fast. I have got a camera I need to go fix. And, Steve, I'm going to leave – well, we'll take a break, and hopefully they won't start before I get back here. Those guys are coming by turn 16 so fast, they were blowing that camera off. So we'll go ahead and see if we can get that fixed real quick before we get this next race underway. But don't go anywhere, folks. We've got one more race. Spec Miata, they're getting them gridded up and ready to go. So we should be back underway here in less than 5 minutes.
All right, guys, welcome back. We've got cars on track currently, gridding up nicely for this Spec Miata race round 2. Raiden Nichols is going to be leading the point alongside Tyler Klein. Will, what can we look forward to in this next race?
We can look forward to some fun racing action. I'm curious to see if Jose Garcia, I don't think he's going to stay in 5th place for this race.
No, he's going to be a mover.
He is definitely going to be your hard charger this round. And I'm also curious to see if Keith Williamson plays it as conservatively this round as he did in the first race. But I expect to see him try and make a push towards the front. You know, I don't necessarily expect to see them trying to compete with Raiden because Raiden was absolutely hammering it last time. But I definitely expect to see them give Tyler a run for his money because, that P2, P3 spot, I believe it could be any one of those 3 drivers.
Let's not count out Nathan Jackson.
No,
let's not count him out. I think he is going to be probably one of our bigger movers.
Let's not count him out, but he's also not legal.
Hey, you never know. Anything could happen on track. Anything at all.
Well, he races in a different he actually messaged me before the race, was asking if he could even sign up, and we said, yep, come on out, as long as you got roll cage and tires and you're not running any faster than a 135, we're pretty much good to go. And then I need to down that number because up until today, 135 was the record.
Okay, 132.
Now I got to start telling people anything less than a 134. But that was definitely exciting to see Raiden Nickel out there getting the lap record. And let's see if he might be able to break it again. I don't know. He's flirting with the 133. He's getting real close. And right now they are side by side coming around the final turn.
That's a beautiful grid.
And we should be underway momentarily. Race car noises. That's what you love to hear on those race starts.
3-4 wide coming into turn 1.
Locking it up. Look at that.
Everybody keeps it clean.
And that looked like Mike Cottrell locking up the brakes a little bit. And look at that. They are shuffling it up front. Tyler Klein giving it all he can. Hot on the bumper of Raiden Nickel, though Raiden starting to pull out a little bit. He's going to have a little bit of contest this opening lap, and if these guys aren't careful and let him get away, it's probably going to be a repeat of race number 1. But right now, things are heating up in the back of the pack. Look at that, some 2-wide action coming out of the carousel. They're going to have to file down and go 3-wide. Look at that, Bill Miller just sending it to the inside, just picked up 2 positions. Not sure what happened to Bill. He got left way out to dry. He started that one practically in the back. I wonder if he failed inspection or had something.
Exactly
He must have
sure.
gotten left out on that race start. I didn't see how he got shuffled all the way back there because he was 5th place in race number 1. So that is going to be an interesting storyline to follow as this race progresses. But right now the field's starting to spread out a little bit. Things are kind of settling out after that opening lap fracas. And look at this little 2-wide action. That looks like I
can't tell. It looks like a red
don't want
car.
to guess. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And let's see as they come past who is in what order. Raiden Nickel, obviously your leader. Tyler Klein, Keith Williamson, Mike Cottrell. And that was Bill Kring made the move there. And let's see as
it's like Jose dropped down 1 position. He was talking with Chris about a electrical failure that was happening down on the backstretch.
Maybe when the car bottoms out, because you get max G-forces at the bottom of the hill there.
He had that issue a couple times last year, and he was working his way through it, trying to figure out, exactly where it was happening and trying to avoid those areas of, I guess, heavy braking or whatever he was doing in that corner. But I guess he's going to have to relearn it this year because the setup might have changed just a little bit.
And look at that. Bill Miller already getting another couple positions back. He is now on the tail of Bill Kring. So those 2 red cars are now fighting it out for 6th and 7th position, which that's going to put Jose back into 8th position. And right now we got Mike and Skylar Cottrell battling it out right now for 4th and 5th. And then look at this. Keith Williamson kind of keeping the pressure on Tyler Klein right now.
Not that far off.
Let's see if he maintains the pace like this or if he's going to let it fall back off like he did during race number 1. See, both races are points races. And, so they're scored the same. So you're not setting up position for race 2. You get points on your finish for race 1.
Braden's got just under a second gap on Tyler coming
Look
through.
at that.
We got a pad way off.
Tyler Klein taking the safari route through turn 1. He's going to lose 2 positions. That's going to allow Keith Williamson and Mike Cottrell to get by. Oh, no. He must have given it a little too much coming in there into turn 1. He ran out of real estate. And let's see, looks like we got that on the replay here.
Looks like he just went a little too wide. That was it.
Ran out of racetrack.
I guess he missed his turn-in point and kind of just ran it wide.
And you hate to see it, but look at this. He is already
right back on the bumper.
Yeah. But what this is going to do, that's going to let Keith Williamson open up a little bit of a gap, because I doubt Mike Cottrell is going to give the point by. So he's going to have his arms out for a few laps. So not looking good right now for Tyler Klein. He's going to have an uphill battle if he wants to get back.
Oh, a little contact.
He got into the rear bumper there. Gave Mike a bit of a shove.
Hey, Rubbin's racing.
Hey, just rattled his cage.
Oh. All the NASCAR references here.
Look, you get your Max Verstappen, I get my Dale Earnhardt, all right?
That's perfectly fine. I'm not even a Max fan. But it's Raiden.
And right now we're watching that battle in the mid-pack as they're making their way through turns 14 into turn 15 right here as they crest the hill back onto the front straightaway. And look at this, Skylar Cottrell trying to make the move on Tyler Klein. Let's see, to the inside.
See if he's going to get 2 or if he's just going to get 1.
And he gets by but leaves the door open. Is there going to be a crossover? He barely has the fender on him. And look at that. Klein, I might outpull him. He's on the inside heading into turn 2.
Oh.
And he is going to be out of position, though, because you got to get around before the exit of turn 2 or that door is going to get slammed in your face, which is what happened there as Skylar Cottrell able to make the pass coming down the front straightaway and secure it through the carousel.
Very good battles early on in this race, and it's just going to heat up from here.
And that's got to be frustrating to Tyler Klein right now. That's one mistake, and he has lost 2 positions, and Keith Williamson is now extending that gap right now. So, you're Tyler, that is not what you want to see.
A good aerial shot of exactly how big of a gap that the gap is between Keith Williamson and that little pack of 3 right there.
And happy to see that drone online and working. I thought it might have noped itself into the trees last time we were on that shot.
Man, that wind is picking up, but it looks like he's going to make a move.
Yeah, it's been brutal down here by our position. It was blowing controllers off of tables, blowing our antenna stands over. So that drone's fighting for its life up there. Just like Tyler Klein to the inside right now, trying to make the move on Skylar Cottrell. Look at this.
That's a door bumper clear
moment. They're going to be side by side as they come through 16 onto the front straightaway. Cottrell's going to have a little bit of the edge, but Tyler is not yielding. He's going to hang on to that inside line. Let's see if he knifes it coming down into turn 1. Going to do the same thing he did last time, and he gets
stuck at that time.
And yeah, he's got more than enough gap, so he's going to easily get through and shut the door. So he gets one of those 2 positions back. But if he's not careful, Skylar's going to be able to get right back around. And let's see as they're making their way through the carousel. Oh, Skylar looking to the inside a little bit as they make their way through turn 5 down the hill, barreling into turn 6. Turn 6, there's not a lot of spots to make a good defensive line. We saw Leighton get caught up trying to block. If you go to the inside, you are going to be so horribly set up for the exit of turn 6. That turn is over 90 degrees. So you have to stay as far to the outside. You have to pretty much be on the rumble strips after the rumble strip ends before you make your turn in. And if you don't do that, if you stay to the inside, you're going to be hurting by the end of that.
Pretty sure you're going to have to preload your exit as well.
Yes.
If not, you're probably going to get walked all over.
Now, that being said, with us letting them go 4 off, that does make it more forgiving when you do take that line because you can then still extend your turn, go to the runoff. But in 2-wide racing, no, that's suicide. You don't go to the inside like that. And right now you're watching your leader, Raiden Nickel, coming past our speed cam. Onto the front straightaway, just behind him, Keith Williamson in the Super Chicken. Skylar Cottrell. Oh, no, that is not Skylar. That is Mike. Guess his transponder is not picking up.
Almost a second and a half difference between Raiden and Keith.
Yeah, it looks like Mike's transponder didn't pick up the last 2 laps. So if they're hand scoring upstairs, then we'll assume he is we'll assume he is still your third place driver right now, although Tyler Klein trying to make the move. So he got past one of the Skylers. Can he get past the other? Or one of the Cottrells, can he get past the other? Now look at that hood of his car is flapping a little bit.
Wonder if it had anything to do with when he came off track.
That
If
might have been
maybe,
the bump,
maybe
the push
hit a
he
bump.
gave. No, it had to have been from that shove he gave to Mike a couple laps ago.
It'll buff.
Well, that's a beautiful thing about Spec Miata. If it doesn't come out with a buffer, it'll come out with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, or a new part.
You'll see those guys just jumping up and down the hood, just getting the body panels semi-close.
It's good enough. Ratchet strap and a little bit of hammering, you'll be fine.
And Raiden Nickel running a 135.4 that last lap. That is the fastest lap of this race so far, although a little bit off that 134 he ran the race prior, setting a new track record, although I think track conditions have definitely changed a little bit since race 1 to race 2, so I'm not sure if he's going to have
the surface.
He's got about a second he's going to have to find if he wants to break that record again.
The surface has definitely got a lot warmer, so it's going to be a little bit, a little bit looser out there.
And the other thing, too, is he is comfortably in the lead. How much does he really need to push
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Because he races this car outside of AMP, and, at the end of the day, you definitely want to put the highway miles, not the city miles, when you're out here driving. And look at that, using every bit of asphalt. You can see Mike Cottrell hopping over that curb, trying to take the straightest possible line through turns 2 and 3, setting up the carousel.
Can we say he's bunny hopping?
We can. It's the day before Easter. And look at this. Skylar Cottrell is still trying to cut up, looking to the inside. Oh, and he drifts it off
He
track.
still got it.
No. Oh, that back tire came off, and he's going to be out of position. Look at this. He's going to get left out to dry as Skylar was waiting. And look at that. Tyler Klein tried to make the move, ends up losing a position. And
two positions.
He was trying to – he briefly got by, but he ended up losing out.
He's going to try again.
He's trying again. Sticks his nose to the inside, coming through 13. I know you guys can't see this on the balcony, but we are watching it here in the booth side by side. Tyler Klein, Skylar Cottrell as they're going through turn 14. Skylar's got looks like a little bit of the run, but there's traffic ahead of him. I wonder if he's on the radio with Mike right now saying, hey, throw the block. I'm coming. Down the front straightaway, still side by side, and Cottrell makes the pass. Look at that. This is some exciting racing. And they are still side by side coming through turn 1.
He's going to send it 4 off again.
He is going to go on safari. Said he didn't get to see everything he wanted to the first time he went off-road. Had to go back again. Out there cutting grass.
Might find one of those elusive Dawsonville albino deer or something.
Well, if he's not careful, he's going to hit one of those eggs we hit out there for the Easter egg hunt. Doesn't count if you pick it up during a race. And right now we are watching that battle in the mid-pack for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There is only one podium spot coming for the 3 of these guys, and they are all fighting it out right now. Man, Tyler had
halfway too.
Yeah, we just barely passed halfway. We are 12.5 minutes into this 20-minute contest, so we have got 7.5 minutes of racing left to go. And I'm telling you, all the action right now is in this mid-pack. One podium spot is on the line. This is the battle for 3rd place right now. Mike Cottrell currently leading that group. You can't believe everything you see on the scoring tower because I think his transponder fell out, so I'm not sure if they will score him as the rightful 3rd place or not. But what we are watching on camera. There it goes, Skyler. Oh!
Let's see what happens here.
I don't know. That looked like a yield. I don't know if he just gave that position or not. And look at that.
We got a spin.
Gives him the shot. Oh, shoved him out of turn one. Said, get out of my way.
You know what that's called? Getting your cage rattled. That's what we call
definitely
that.
got rattled. That's also called
the oval track scene.
Yeah, and that's also called getting a penalty because I know Sean is going to be down here to watch that replay.
Let's just take a look here. He got a little loose, and
man,
that's kind of what ended up, the contact.
He lined it up and made the field goal.
It was good, by the way.
But it's going to be coming back. There will definitely be a penalty on that play. Ooh, he just.
Ooh.
Now if Mike missed a shift, because there is an incident form, so they will have to fill out an incident report. Mike comes out of the car and says, you know what, I missed my shift. That was on me.
We're all good.
Then we're all good. But if Mike says, I was racing and you shoved me, then that is definitely going to be a penalty on Tyler Klein. So we're going to have to see. Definitely don't want to be race director because he's going to have a tough decision to make. Although, to be honest with you, it won't matter if Tyler's not able to get around Skyler Cottrell, because that penalty will only put him further back, and he is not on the podium right now. So he is definitely going to need some help from above if he's going to be able to find his way to the podium, because even if he does get around Skyler and they call that penalty, it's going to push him back.
The most exciting thing about this is, Will, this is the first race of the season.
Yeah, we're just
getting
started.
already pushing limits here this early in the season.
You could tell these guys were waiting eagerly during the offseason to get back on track.
A lot of sim testing.
Oh, he was looking to the inside.
A lot of sim testing, a lot of, coming out here in open member days and just laying down laps.
And these guys have already traded position about 5 times in this race right now, so I don't expect that to be the last. I expect Tyler to look. Oh, he thought about it. He's
going to try for it in 6. I'm calling it now. He's going to do a crossover in 6.
And let's see what happens. They both go wide, and they both go coast to coast to the inside, outside to inside, using the entire runoff there. So not going to happen that time. I don't know. He's been getting that run.
I didn't
through the
specify
back section. I don't know. It's coming because he's been trying to set him up in turns 10 and 11, but it looks like he got a little squirrely there coming through 8. So I don't think he's going to quite get the run coming up the back hill now.
He's probably going to get him, if I had to guess.
Well,
starting in 13 is where.
Last time he did it on the outside coming through the carousel.
See, there he goes at 13.
Yeah.
He swings it in. See if he goes back
Skyler
underneath.
Skyler might have learned something from that last time because, Tyler just sent it to the inside. And they were side by side coming through 14 when he made the pass a few laps ago.
He's definitely driving more defensively this lap than he was last.
Well, this is for all the marbles. This is hanging on to a podium spot. Skyler wasn't in the top 3 for race number 1, so I know they'd love nothing more than to be able to get some hardware to take home.
And they're zigzagging back and forth. He's trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do because Tyler's got a bit of a missile. To the
inside.
Oh, he's going to get it.
Barely edging it.
But if he doesn't clear that fender coming into 2, and there he goes.
Got it.
And I think Skyler let off a little bit because he did not want to make contact because Tyler's already out here proving he's willing to play bumper cars here today. And he is a man on a mission trying to make up for that early mistake. Went off-roading, lost a bunch of positions. And
I can't pick up on his line, what he's trying to do.
Look at Williamson there.
Yeah, just a little off.
They are using every square inch of the racing surface, let me tell you. And this is, we got 13 cars on track right now, but this is our closest battle. These guys are hotly contesting it right now. Skyler Cottrell, Tyler Klein going at it. This is your battle for 3rd place, the last podium spot of the day. You got Keith Williamson just at the bottom of your screen. That is 2nd place right now. He is comfortably into 2nd. Look at that, Raiden Nickel already pulling it onto the trailer. He's so far ahead of everybody else.
That's a little, we got a car off.
And we got, that looks like Mike Cottrell. And he has just pulled himself off in front of the corner marshal stand, which is what they are instructed to do. So maybe those extracurricular activities in turn 1 were a little too much for Mike. He's going to, I think, be content to ride the flatbed home. But not until we get to the conclusion of this race. We have got 2 minutes to go as Tyler looks.
We got another car on the wall.
And that looks like Bill Kring off at turn 1.
What if we can get a replay on that?
Everybody.
What if we get a replay on that? If anybody's got it, the battle is still heating up between these two for the podium position.
Thought about it. And again, like I said, there is probably going to be at least, I don't know if it's going to be a grid position or a time position. But even if Tyler gets by Cottrell, I don't know if it's going to stick.
It's going to be close here.
And I expect Race Control is probably going to be down here wanting to watch that replay after the race.
Yeah. I mean, they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But as they continue to battle, we've got Jose Garcia coming up behind him. I'm not exactly sure how far behind he is, but, you know, it's what you want. You want the guys in front of you to be battling. You come in and just swoop that position from them.
And we've got a standing yellow now. The white flag is in hand. We've got the recovery flag. We've got the yellow flag. We've got pretty much every flag out there except the green and the checker right now. That looks like the bow of a ship coming into port. And looks like Red Rescue is out there on scene tending to Bill Kring. That is what that cross flag means at the start-finish line. They're not going to stop the race because he is well off the racing line. And there goes, it looks like Raiden Nickel, and it does look like Tyler Klein did get around Skylar Cottrell. Happened off camera as we were checking in on Bill Kring here. But again, I am, it says race director on my name badge, so I'm going to go ahead and say that is probably a penalty. But we got to wait and hear from race director Sean Hayes how he is officially going to call it. They will definitely have to fill out an incident report. And this year we've got the new rules that when contact does occur, both drivers are required to pull their GoPros and supply footage to race director.
Well, it's a good thing we have footage.
Yeah, and that one that one we caught pretty clear as day on the replay.
Raiden should be coming around any minute now. Checker flags in the air.
Standing yellow, the double standing yellow out means we got recovery vehicles on track. And Raiden is going to take the checkered flag. And you can see the lap times, all those guys definitely lifting as they come through turn 1. Those 135s, 136s are now 137s, 140s. So,
you know, 150s down the line.
When that yellow is out there, those drivers definitely, you can see it in their lap times, are showing caution as they come through turn 1. And that's the main thing you want to see here. This is a gentleman's league right now. You know, you're not going to get your ticket to F1 by winning the race here. You're going to get your start, and that's going to put you on the path. But you're not going to get your seat coming out of here, and that's what we tell the drivers. That's what we expect out of the drivers when they race here. Because the biggest thing at the end of the day is you get to drive at home. Because the biggest thing that'll kill a race series is drivers been in their cars, you know, the race series themselves doing nothing about it. And so we are pretty strict with these drivers. We do throw penalties. We are, I wouldn't say we're completely heavy-handed because these guys are really good at driving, but, you know, when an incident does occur and a driver is at fault, they do get penalized. And, you know, that's the motivation to be gentlemen, to drive the way we expect them to drive. And ultimately that's what's going to help grow this race series. And, you know, we did a real good job last year, and you can see this field's almost doubled between last year and this year. So almost back up to the former glory of what Spec Miata was. Back we used to have a full grid of Spec Miata, full grid of Spec E30.
Oh, man, I remember those days.
Those
that was
back
wild.
That was back when the parking lot was still gravel, and, you know, we didn't even have the building we're sitting in.
We didn't have the cart building down there. We were operating out of a tent, and, you know, it's amazing to see how far this facility as a whole has came, you know, in just a short amount of time. I mean, it's only been, 5-6 years since we've really had all this updates.
And I see Chris Conowall making his way out onto the paddock. Hopefully we can find some of our winners to speak with. I know Ray Nichols probably already back in his pit spot Definitely love to hear from Keith Williamson, and I really want to talk to Tyler Klein.
Oh, yes, definitely. I want to know what happened.
And
Yeah,
it
guys.
looks like they did issue a penalty on the scoring because you can see the official results. He is now in 6th. So they definitely assessed a penalty onto him there. I don't know if they –
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just saw Tyler Klein like zip off the track and out of here. So I don't know if we're going to be able to talk to him or not. But, yeah, he got off the track quick and looks like he made a hard right, and he is out of here. But I'll try to track him down, fellas.
Yeah, that was definitely a penalty. Hope you guys up on the balcony are enjoying everything. Wave, you're live, Facebook, YouTube.
Was that
What's
Mr.
up?
Jeremy Porter right there?
Looks like Jeremy talking with Mr. Ron Zappendorf right there. Hopefully, they're probably talking about whose Tesla is going to be faster during drag racing.
I don't know. Maybe they're talking about whose Corolla is going to be faster than drag racing.
Well, not much of a conversation because
is this a challenge?
only one of us has a
We-
only
Pink's-
one of us has a 6-speed manual.
We throwing pink slips down? We're going to make this interesting?
You want to walk home?
Wouldn't be the first time.
And there goes Raiden Nickel across the scales weighing in to make sure this victory is secured because the results aren't official until they cross the scales. Keith Williamson will be up next, but definitely want to get a word with the two of them.
So, Chris, I don't know if you can hear us, but did Tyler go through tech,
No,
or did he just pull straight off?
He pulled straight off. If Raiden was on the scales, that means Tyler hadn't gone through yet.
So is that technically a DNF, or is that?
Yeah, he zipped through pit road and just right off the track. So I don't think he passed tech altogether.
And that won't. They officially scored him at 6, but with him not going past tech, I'm not sure if that pushes him further down.
I would think most other facilities do a DNF in that situation.
Yeah, actually, as the race was progressing, the cameras were on the driver that had gone off the track, and there had been the battle between Cottrell and Tyler Klein, and then when the cameras came back, he was gone. He had dropped back, several spots. So I don't know if he just basically just stood down and let everybody go around him, or what happened. But then he just left the track.
Yeah, it looked like that last lap he ran was in the 2-minute range, so you were probably correct there, Chris. And it looks like the young gun, hotshot Raiden Nichols getting out of his car. And you can see a proud Papa sitting there behind the rail.
I'll never forget the first time I interviewed this young man. We'll step over here because we're almost out of range. He said to me, "Hey, what are you going to ask me?" And that you were just turning 16 at the time, I think, or just barely 16. And the question on my mind was, do you have your driver's license back then? And if so, what are you driving? What's the difference out on the street? But we'll save that for another day. Talk about racing here today, and it looked like a Sunday drive on a Saturday for you, Raiden. Way to go.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's always fun to come out here. We really just went in with the mindset of just having fun. And so on that last race, it was really just the same strategy as last time, with the exception of managing the tires a little bit more because it's getting hotter and AMP has a little bit of a coarse track. So just get a good start, put down some laps, stay consistent, and just have fun.
Yeah, that's right. So we did see you set the track record that when things were cooler and you just sort of you were knocking on the door about a second difference between the last run and this run. So, tell these younger, inexperienced drivers about what they got to watch for as the track heats up.
As the track heats up, obviously it's going to get a little bit more oily, slippery, so tire deg's going to be higher, which means ultimately you just got to be smoother on the gas, make sure those rear tires stay happy. You don't want to push, you don't want to induce push into the car, Just keep the tires happy, make sure the car's stable. You don't want to be correcting and all over the place. So that's really just the name of the game, smooth, fast, and consistent.
Yeah, so all you future superstars like this one here, you'll want to save that clip there because he just gave you pearls of wisdom there on what to do. But looking forward to great things from you this season. Congratulations. We'll see you on the podium. Raiden, anyone you'd like to say hello to before you take the podium?
I'd like to thank my family, really, and Primal Racing for helping me out in the long run with both the Downforce class and the Spec Miata. So it's been good.
Awesome. We enjoy watching you. Congratulations to you, and we'll see you on the podiums. I'm going to try to track down the Mr. Williamson right behind you, as well as then we had Mr. Cottrell as well. Thank you so much. I believe this is Mr. Williamson here. And Skylar Cottrell looking like he's in the third spot there. That was such a tight battle between, Mr. Klein and Mr. Cottrell. I'm very anxious to hear from him as he makes his way out of his car. Looks like they've weighed in. Hey, Skylar, can we get a word with you over here? We're right at the edge of our range right here. And, of course, Mr. Williamson, congratulations on number 2. But here we are. Skylar, we're going to go ahead and introduce yourself first.
I'm Skylar Cottrell.
Skylar Cottrell, yeah. So there was quite the battle between you and Mr. Klein that entire race. So what can you tell us about that battle, and more importantly, what happened at the end, because our cameras went off and we did not get to see how it all we saw Klein drop way back. What happened?
Well, me and Tyler are good buddies, so we work together a lot in SCCA, and we're just having fun out there. That's why we're here. But no, I don't know. On the last lap, the white flag came out, and we were coming around. I was ready to take the checker under yellow, and Tyler just pulled in. So I guess he didn't see the checker, or thought the checker was already out or something. But yeah.
Well, that was an exciting race. It's good to hear that you guys are such good friends. He was kind of wild man, all in the grass. You kind of were consistent through all the turns and just battling back and forth. Tell us where you come from and what we can look forward to the rest of the season from you.
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and we'll probably come out for a few more races. It's a good time, although every time we come out. So.
Well, awesome! Congratulations. We're going to see you on the podium, and we hope to see a lot more of you out here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, sir.
We're going to try to get Mr. Williamson over here if he'll. Looks like he is just out of range, waving to his fellow drivers, and looks like he. Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with your name, sir. I'm kind of new out here, but you. Am I supposed to put these on? Yes, please, if you wouldn't mind. Sorry, lacking on the instruction. Chris Conwell, nice to meet you. Keith Williamson, and you took the second place spot here today. Let me pass the mic and let you introduce yourself on the mic here.
I'm Keith Williamson. Took second place today.
Yeah, where are you from, Keith?
I live in Milton.
And how long have you been racing out here at Atlanta Motorsports Park?
Since 2013.
Since 2013?
I think so.
And how long have you been in Spec Miata?
Since 2014.
Gotcha. Now, ask you a quick question. Did you see the battle going on behind you between Klein and Cottrell? I
looked in the mirror and saw it a few times. Saw Cottrell get spun. I don't know if he got spun or had help. I saw him come around. Thought, well, that's one less car to catch me.
Yes, indeed, and you had you put some distance between you. You're going to be on the podium. It was very nice to meet you, and we look forward to many great things this season out of you. Anybody you'd like to say a special hello to on the eve of Easter?
Not today, thanks.
You betcha. All right, see you on the podium. Thanks a lot. All right, guys, I'm going to send it back into you, and. What a great day of racing here today at Atlanta Motorsports Park. And there it is, the view from down here at Pit Road. What a beautiful day, guys. Great job there inside, and I'm going to send it back in to you.
Well, we appreciate that, Chris, and we appreciate having you out here. It was great getting to add you onto the broadcast team last season. Always great to get to work with you out here, and you do a great job interviewing all the guys out there. And, we were all talking in the hallway during the break, and I think, Chris, we're going to have an announcer's drag race coming up here in a little bit because we're getting ready. You can see the guys out there.
Listen, Will, you had asked me before coming out here if I was going to bring the Hummer, and so I decided to step up my game. I brought my Mach 4E Mustang, and I'm going to, I'll even give you guys a head
I'm
start.
going to need about 4 seconds.
I'll give you a head start.
4 seconds behind you.
You're going to need to start when I'm at the end of the rumble strips.
Whatever you need, guys. It's going to be a good time. It is going to be a great time. Looking forward to it.
Well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate everybody here that's on site today. We saw a lot of our members out on the deck. We were getting ready to go with our members social, our Easter social, and this is pretty much going to do it for us here on the live stream today. We're getting ready to do podiums. That's going to happen off air. But, from all of us here in the booth, this was quite an exciting first day of racing here at the main track, and we've got 6 more dates coming up this season, and I can't be more excited for them. If it's going to be anything like what we saw today, it is definitely going to be exciting. And, Steve, this is your first one at the main track up here. You were with us at Kart Track a couple weeks ago. I'm assuming it didn't disappoint for you either.
Oh, no, definitely. It was a lot of action. There was a lot of storylines to follow up. It's going to be an interesting year, considering how quickly we've already started off this year with a little bit of drama going in the first race. I can't wait to see how it pans out.
And we definitely have a hot month of racing coming up here in April. We are going to be going every single weekend. We have got the big round 2 of the AMP Kart Racing Series coming up next weekend. That'll be on the Kart Chaser YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to them yet, please go ahead, subscribe to them. That race will be behind the paywall. The week after that, we've got the big 2-day national event. So expect to see us breaking attendance records 2 weekends in a row back at Kart Track. We broke it last week or 2 weeks ago with 160 drivers. We are definitely going to break it again next week. And then once we got that big national event, there should be close to 250 plus drivers on site.
I'm not setting the bar too high, but I'm going to set it very high. I say we hit 300.
I hope we do. And it is going to be an exciting couple of weekends of kart racing. And then after that, we don't let off the gas because we're back here April 20th at the main track. We've got the members AGM, which is our all-member meeting, plus we've got race day going on. So it's definitely going to be exciting. So we've got 3 weekends of racing coming up ahead of us here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. And then 2 weeks after that, we've got Prodigy Week.
Oh, man.
So we've got them coming back around. We have got so much action going on here at the track. We have got 15 live streams planned between now and the middle of May. So if you guys love racing action, you definitely know where to tune in. And, that is going to do it for us here today in the booth here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Round number 1, the Summer Championship Series, is in the books. From all of us here on the AMP broadcast team, for the team working here, all the racers, everybody, we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for spending some time with us today, and we will see you guys on the next one. So long, everybody.